What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Ball Game Podcast. I am the innocent bystander, Matt Sullivan.
I am Trunks.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Dean.
As you can see, we have a very special guest today, Trevor Everett, host of the Two Pointers Podcast. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate having you. You want to tell the people where they can find you and stuff like that, and introduce yourself real quick for us. So.
I first of all want to say I'm mad at Riv because I was going to ask him why his name was Trunks, and he literally did that last week. I'm actually really mad at Riv. I already let him know. All jokes aside, wild trade deadline. Super excited to talk to you guys about it. I'm Trevor Everett, like y'all said, from the Two Pointers Podcast, cover the NBA, college basketball, and as the NBA draft starts to get cranked up here, the NBA draft as well. Love the NBA draft. So as it will start to be the main focus of everything I talk about, basically from April on. But yeah. I'm excited to talk to you guys about a wild deadline that kept me up all night.
Real quick, where can everyone find you on your socials?
It's 2 Pointers on Twitter, 2 Pointers on Instagram, and then everything else is at the 2 Pointers Podcast.
Got it. If you're watching on YouTube right now, please do be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all of our socials in that description below. But yes, obviously, Trev just said it. It is the trade deadline episode. And yesterday was one of the craziest, if not the craziest, trade deadlines I've ever seen in my entire life. So in any sport for that matter. So it was a wild day. And of course, the first trade that I feel like we all want to cover is the biggest trade possibly. Is it crazy to say in NBA history?
Well,
mid-season.
The greatest player to ever get moved in a trade? Is that?
Yes, but there was a trade that happened before that.
No, but I want to.
But yeah, overall, yeah, it was.
I want to talk about KD, but yeah, Kyrie Irving. Yes,
we talked about this the other day.
We
Unfortunately,
made
Trunks
a full
wasn't present.
podcast about it, so go check that out.
Definitely go
Yes,
check that
sir.
out. We gave our full thoughts. We'll touch on Kyrie today. Trunks, since you weren't here, what are your thoughts on it?
I thought it was the right move for the Mavericks. They obviously needed to get some sort of star to play next to Luka. It sucks for the Nets, but I feel like where they were at, they had to move him. I feel like based off the trade they made afterwards, a few days after, they shouldn't have made the trade that they made for Kyrie. They honestly probably should have made the Lakers trade to get those two firsts rather than win now role players. But it happened, and I think they're in a bad situation, the Nets.
So
The Mavericks, I think they're in a great situation. I feel like they're a title contender now. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they do the rest of the season.
Trev, what's your thoughts on the trade?
I'm not going to say anything that anyone else in the entire coverage of this hasn't already said. Offensively, I think it's just going to be unbelievable to watch. I came away going, okay, but like I'm with y'all. Like, what's their next move? Like, what was the thing that was going to be like, okay, let's retool a little bit? Because I do think those two, by any stretch of the imagination, like I wasn't ramping them up into the top two of the West by any means when that happened, but I wasn't even more so. We'll talk about KD in a minute, like you said, but that definitely changes that opinion. I don't know. I've always been one to trust Kyrie a little bit more than most. I think, like everyone, I'm a little fed up with just in general the things that have transpired over the last 2 years. I wanted to ask a question. That was actually the part I had struggled with. Was we've seen enough now that we know that the last quote unquote normal Kyrie year, give or take, was technically the year before, the year they won the title in Cleveland, because that was the year before he asked out because he wanted to be his own team and that kind of thing, right? So that was not that that's not unusual for any star, right? Stars are going to do that.
Yep.
Is Kyrie Irving a Hall of Famer? Excuse me, first ballot.
First ballot.
I would say so.
I think just because the
first
NBA the Basketball Hall of Fame is easier to get into than any other sport, yeah, I think it makes it.
That I also agree with. I think if you were talking about credentials for, like, say, the NFL Hall of Fame, how it's like incredibly difficult to make that. I think it's
or the baseball
or
baseball,
MLB.
he wouldn't be in at all.
No, he'd be. He might make it on like his fourth or fifth ballot, but I think in the NBA Hall of Fame, well, not NBA Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame, which makes the massive difference there. I think he is. I think he's first ballot. I think there's no question about it, especially for hitting the shot of shots in NBA history, arguably. So
yeah,
it's tough. He is for sure, but this will taint how we look at Kyrie Irving, everything that's happened over the last few years. So it's tough.
Yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Famer, though. 8-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, champ. Shoots 40% from three for his career, averages 23 points. So, yeah,
Plus, just the name value.
He's all
Kyrie,
over.
you know, I feel like he easily gets in. you know?
I think the media kind of taints our view on Kyrie, and it kind of sucks that we have to think about him as this like kooky fucking player when
No, from all accounts, he's an amazing teammate, a great human being, all that stuff. But it's just that he's not always the most self-aware human being in the world, which is kind of the issue there.
he's a bit of a distraction, but
Yeah,
That's the reason I ask, and I just want people to be clear that I agree he is a Hall of Famer. I don't want this to get like clipped later and like,
Yes.
whoa, not a Hall of Famer, right? I mean, if you want to clip me saying that, I'll say it and we can do it. But
I'll say it with fucking chest.
yeah, but at the end of the day, like I'm bringing up the baseball point only because the Baseball Hall of Fame is completely media driven, and it is like there are guys that are blackballed forever. Like, whether they'll say that or not, it is what it is. If they don't change it,
100%.
basketball, like I mean, Chris, I'm glad we brought up kind of all the stuff that we know about him, at least statistically and resume wise. If you're trying to take the whole career into consideration, right? Like, you only played 11 games at Duke. There's a lot of things that you can go, okay, maybe not around the edges, but I agree. Maybe necessarily, I don't know if first ballot just because of reputation. I think he might get on a weaker year, maybe the second time around. This will be fun to watch in 12 years when he retires. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to ask it because I know I'm not crazy. I know that that's something that shouldn't even be a thought, but yeah. I did have that thought after all of it. I'm like, okay, Mark Cuban, who I don't know, there's a lot there, but he traded for a guy that I just would not have ever imagined that happening.
No, I agree. Honest to God, I thought the Kyrie Irving trade was one destination and one destination only. I thought it was the Lakers, and I thought he would pair up with LeBron again, and I thought that was it. I thought that the only team that would make sense for them to take the plunge and take the risk on Kyrie Irving was going to be the Lakers because of all the rumors and the fact that LeBron and Kyrie himself wanted to play together again. So I'll ask this to you guys. Do we think that he signed – this is for all of you. Do we think he signs long-term in Dallas?
Yes.
I think he will.
I think there's a good chance, but I mean, not to keep, on the stereotype of Kyrie Irving being Kyrie Irving, but he could do anything at any time, and it's gonna surprise us. You know what I mean? He could just turn around in a couple months and be like, "Nah, I didn't really like it here." You know what I mean? He's barely played there, so who knows what he's gonna think in a few months. So
yeah, he can leave and sign a minimum. With the
if
Lakers,
they end up getting
right?
bounced first round for whatever reason, he might be like, "All right, well, maybe I don't want to be here. Maybe I want to just go play with LeBron and AD." So,
I agree. Trav, your thoughts?
Two things to consider is he wants a 4-year deal, which is why the Lakers didn't make the deal. Straight up, that was just the biggest they don't want to do. They wanted to do a 2-year deal knowing the window on LeBron. Yep. The thing that I have to also consider, and I didn't want to say this earlier when I spoke last because I don't know how it's going to come off, but it's going to take a lot of closed-door conversations. And what I mean by that is, for those who don't know, Mark Cuban is Jewish. So I think there needs to be some things. I hope that they made that trade in perpetuity, understanding that whatever had happened in the past, he's going to put behind them. They're going to have a business relationship that is completely professional. Taking down the apology might have been part of that. I don't understand that. But regardless, basketball-wise, I think he probably does re-sign there. Yes. Ultimately, I think they understand what they can get with those two at the highest potential. I don't think he's signing for a minimum anywhere. I think it's just a matter of he wants the one last contract. This is the contract that'll ride him off into the veteran minimum eventually.
Yeah, I was trolling. I'm just saying because we don't know what Kyrie will ever do. So I'm just like, for all I know, he's going to sign.
Oh, yeah. If he promises the Mavs fans like anytime in the next 3 months, he's gone. Like if he makes any promise, we know track record now. We can go, yeah, well, you've done that 3 times now. So
that is very true. Yes. That's how you know he's now gone once he says I'm staying. So
you look at child in his fucking face.
But yeah, so we'll cover the trade that I was mentioning before because of the fact that this was the avalanche. This was the dominoes that fell afterwards. And this was the Kevin Durant trade. And in case everyone does not know the exact details of the Kevin Durant trade, the Suns got Kevin Durant and TJ Warren. The Nets, this is essentially the important part of this trade, received Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, 4 unprotected first-round picks, and a pick swap in 2028, as well as 2 second-round picks. So I have to ask, what are our thoughts on Kevin Durant getting moved at the trade deadline? And what do we think of the Suns?
Suns are scary, man.
Thanks, Trunks.
I feel like
Great
I think they're gonna win it all, honestly, after this trade. Yeah, I know he's not healthy for like a week or two.
He's
still.
out. No, he's out until after the All-Star break. Yeah.
So it sucks. We got to wait to see him play, but I'm excited for it.
Did you know that? I know this is the biggest one ever, but no midseason acquisition like this big has ever gone on to like win a championship.
Yes.
It doesn't. It takes more. It takes longer than half a season to really gel
So-
and get everything together.
my counter argument to that would be,
It's Kevin
and I
fucking
feel the
Durant.
same way about Kyrie Irving in a sense that those are two of the few superstars in this NBA that I feel like, because I consider Kyrie Irving like borderline superstar.
He's a superstar.
He's right there. But those are two of the few superstars in today's NBA that you could plug in anywhere seamlessly and like they fit. You know what I mean? Like they're more than capable of playing off the ball. They're not these extremely ball dominant players. I mean, especially a guy like KD, we've seen him play within an offense before in Golden State. So, and just basketball wise, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna win it all. I'm still leaning with the Mavericks, but like that's gonna be high level, high IQ basketball. You got a guy like Chris Paul, who we all know has arguably one of the highest IQs in NBA history, the ultimate floor general. You got a guy like Devin Booker, who just, I don't want to say the right way, but he plays the game in a way that like it's appealing to the eye. Same
Yes.
thing with KD. They're shooting these tough mid-range shots, footwork, all that fun juggle. So it's just going to be like, and also that type of basketball normally translates well to the playoffs. So Deadpool says I have to
I was
stop with
about
the Mavs agenda. Deadpool, I'll never
And you
stop.
still have fucking DeAndre Ayton as your fourth option, a guy who can come in and drop 35 and fucking 10, 15, whatever it
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean?
I bet on his over on rebounds yesterday. he had 0.5.
I know you guys hate DeAndre Ayton. I know you guys.
Yeah.
I know you guys aren't big fans when
Hey, let me defend you though, because I'm with you. Like, what do you need him to be? You don't need him to be 35 and 12. You need him to be 10 and 11. You need him to be
Right.
12, 10, and 3 blocks. Like
Yeah,
this is the perfect complementary piece for this team.
I don't
Because
think
that's all he needs to be.
with DeAndre Ayton being a fourth option.
I don't know. Okay,
No,
time out.
whoa,
Time out.
Come on.
No,
Time
because
out.
he's sitting there huffing and puffing.
I agree with whatever Matt's gonna say right now.
Time out. First of all, I don't think DeAndre Ayton is a bad basketball player by any stretch of the imagination. I obviously am trolling when I say that he's fucking garbage at basketball and he doesn't know how to play. I'm obviously trolling when I say that. But with that being said, he is incredibly soft. That is a fact. And also, you're right. I don't need DeAndre Ayton to put up 20 and 10, 20 and 12. I don't need that. You're right. But when has he ever been this defensive presence to be able to get 3 or 4 blocks every single game? When has he showed? He hasn't showed me that at any point, if I'm being completely honest. He's
fair.
decent defensively. Don't get me wrong. He's solid on that end of the floor, but he's not anything that's going to change life for them. He's not a guy that's going to single-handedly make a defense capable or competent. And I don't see that out of Ayton. Is he is he a good offensive player? Not a great offensive player? Yes, sure, he is. But he's nothing special on the defensive end. So I don't know. I just personally, I think the perfect fit for them is just like, honestly, it's a guy like Nick Claxton or
Yeah,
Jared
I was
Allen.
about to say I wouldn't be
like-
surprised.
or
if
Jakob
in the
Poeltl.
offseason they explode
Jakob
trade
Poeltl would have
offers.
been perfect. Yes, I completely agree.
But
so,
what do you mean would have
so-
been? What do you mean?
So his point is that DeAndre Ayton, when he's effective when he's getting the ball and
Yes.
he's getting touches. So yeah, in theory, you move a guy who's very skilled, top 7 at his position, whatever you want to say, for DeAndre Ayton, you move him to your fourth option. That's great, but he's a guy who's effective with the ball, so he's your fourth scoring option now. So his effectiveness, unless he really buys in on the defensive end,
Yes.
and since he's getting less touches now within this offense, he becomes some type of defensive force. You could have benefited. Like, I even sent it in the group chat yesterday morning. What if the Suns go and trade Ayton for OG Anunoby? For a team like that, you don't need a center who's gonna provide scoring from the post and finesse around the basket. DeAndre Ayton's game. You need a rim protecting rebounder.
Guys, just going to rim run
Like
But,
a Miles
over
Turner.
and over and over again. And
okay, but you're stuck with Ayton, and I think that
I mean, you're not really.
No,
I mean,
it's
for the rest
not-
of the season,
It's
yeah.
not like
not a bad
it's
thing.
not. Yeah, it's not a weak point. It's not like having
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton at their center is going to cost them a championship. Like, he's a good player. He's gonna contribute at some level.
I just feel like if you bring in Kevin Durant and he is your fourth option, no, he doesn't have to do as much in the offensive end. So yeah, he can focus on defense a little bit more, can be a
No,
little
yeah,
bit more
that's-
bought in.
See, but that's the point because Ayton's always been one to complain about the fact that he hasn't been more involved. So therefore, you take away even more touches from him, and who's to say he's going to be more engaged?
Here's
We
the
could be talking about
beautiful-
Ayton that's less engaged.
Here's the beautiful
So-
part about the NBA is he doesn't have to be a Phoenix Sun once August hits, right? Like they can move him because
Yes,
we know how the contract situation was up until the last minute, basically, and then Indiana basically saved Phoenix and was like, "Here's an offer that isn't actually that egregious, so and what he's worth, so we're going to match it because we'd be dumb to let him go."
yes,
And they have no reason not to, right? I've always been a guy that has backed up the whole new owner syndrome thing, right? Like I don't want to walk this back, but like there will be a clip that comes out in the next hour or two when we get done on my feed that I said on Sunday with the Kyrie Irving trade. I said if Matt Ishaba takes over, which he was not supposed to as of Tuesday, by the way, I don't know if people knew that he was not supposed to take over this team until mid-February, so it was going to have to be Sarver signing off on deals. But I was like, anything can happen, right? And if Matt Ishaba takes over, he's going to want his guy. He's going to want to build his team that he is now the owner of. He ended up taking a majority ownership stake. He's like 61% or 57%, which is a huge deal. So he ends up going and getting the guy, obviously, Kevin Durant. That was the obvious thing, which I love how we turned this into the DeAndre Ayton trade. But then he's like, okay, now he can retool and work with the front office and understand what they want to do. They'll get a good enough sample size to see if they flame out in the playoffs. They'll be able to know why, right? They're not basketball idiots in Phoenix. They know how to build a team. They've clearly done a great job with that, right? Devin Booker's an all-star. Chris Paul's obviously an all-NBA player, right? So I have confidence that they will figure it out. Do I think he's a Phoenix Sun come September, come October? Probably not.
I think Ayton gets traded in the offseason for 2 role players because they're going to need to turn this into a 2-for-1 because especially with, I think what will be their downfall this season is their depth. And I know in the end, depth doesn't win championships, but realistically, they don't have any in a way. And sure, Torrey Craig's is a decent NBA player. Campaign is a decent NBA player, but Bismack Biyombo, decent backup center. And Deadpool put in the chat, we're going to see a lot of games where Biyombo looks like the Suns' best center, which I honestly,
because he does what
I
they
can
need him
agree
to
with.
do
Exactly,
better than
yes.
Ayton does right now.
So it's tough, but I do think Ayton gets moved in the offseason. I genuinely think that's going to happen. I thought he was going to get moved in this season, but yes, back to the actual trade that we're supposed to be talking about and not a potential trade that could happen in the offseason. Kevin Durant changes life for the Suns and puts them back into like arguably title favorite contender, like in that range now. And people are looking at them like that, but I still think that I don't think this is the year for the Suns. And I don't think this is the year for a team that we just mentioned before, the Mavericks. I think this could be a one-year thing where next season the Mavericks can potentially win the championship with better pieces around Kyrie and Luka Doncic. And then the Suns could even get better in the offseason as well. So I just think there's a lot of
You got to wait and see what happens with the buyout market too. Because there's a lot of guys that are getting
there are
bought
going
out.
to be a lot of guys getting bought out.
I think we as a basketball community are starting to overrate depth. Because come playoff time, obviously it matters. Like you want to have a complete team, you want to have a deep team, but I think come playoff time that shit starts to really not matter as much.
I think it matters when you have a team that can be this injury prone with CP, KD, and of course, obviously D-Book.
I mean, I feel like any team, no matter what depth you have, if you lose a superstar for your playoff run, you're probably not going to win.
True. Yeah.
You could have whoever you want coming off your bench, but if you lose a superstar talent, it doesn't matter. So
yeah, no, I'd agree. Do we want to grade this one for each portion of the trade?
I give it an A on both ends. I think the Nets were set on sending KD to Phoenix. It came out they didn't take any other calls from any other teams about him. So if that was Phoenix's best offer, you got a decent haul. You got Mikal Bridges, you got Cam Johnson, you replenished a shit ton of your draft capital because you had none, and now you have a shit ton of draft capital. So
I feel like I agree with what a lot of people are saying for the Nets to trade KD and Kyrie and not get back a top prospect, a top young player is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I actually have it right here in front of me.
I know you got back a lot of draft capital, but I know the vision wasn't the same as it was Monday into Thursday when they traded Kevin Durant, when they traded
Yes.
there were two different directions, but within 4 days.
Yes.
So the moves don't exactly line up, but to get back young players
The Nets
between those two guys is
turned
crazy.
KD, Kyrie, and James Harden into Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson, and 7 first-round picks. And the Nets don't have their own picks.
It's a lot of role playing.
They don't even have Jay Crowder. That's the funniest part. They just lost a piece of that
Yeah.
already.
They traded him for what was
Yeah.
it, 5 second-round picks
So, yeah.
essentially. So
Get rid of Jay Crowder, 5 seconds.
yeah, it says it here. Yeah, and I guess it was a part of a 4-team trade.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, Jay Crowder going to the Bucks, and then Pacers getting George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Nwora. Both, I think the top 2 were waived or they're getting bought out. And then 3 future second-round picks to the Pacers. Obviously, I thought the Bucks getting Jay Crowder. I mean, I know everyone's saying he hasn't played basketball. I don't care about the regular season. I'm worried about Jay Crowder can he be in shape for the playoffs? Can he be the version of Jay Crowder that we've seen in the past? Because I think if he is, the Bucks are going back to the finals and winning the finals. I said this last week on the
Jay
podcast.
Crowder's the
Yes,
moving
I
that
thought
needle,
I
bro.
thought I thought forever once they lost PJ Tucker, that one move was getting that hard-nosed guy that'll just play defense on anyone and take that hardest matchup on a nightly basis, which allows Giannis and allows Brook Lopez to then just chill and swat everything at the rim and then funnel everything down low to them too. I just personally, I thought them losing PJ Tucker was the end. Like I thought they weren't, they were title contenders because they have Giannis, but I thought it was like they were lesser than what they were. Now getting Jay Crowder, I think they're right back, and I think they're the title favorites, in my personal opinion.
I would disagree because this is the same Jay Crowder that was one of the biggest reasons that they weren't successful in that Dallas series. Chris is smiling ear to ear, probably it's because I mentioned how Dallas beating them, but does he swing them a couple of, maybe a game or two in a first couple of round series? Sure. But this is the same guy that, in the Western Conference Finals against Phoenix, shot below 35% from 3, a couple of times shot 11% from 3. And obviously, when you don't play for what's going to end up being 4.5 months, it's that kind of defender who's aging. I do think he's going to be good for them. I don't want to sit here and walk myself back, but he is a huge reason for that collapse. And he's not, don't ask him to do, 15 and 10 anyway. Don't ask him 15 and 5, whatever. Don't ask him to do that anyway. That's the point. He's a supporting role player that I think is going to be important for Giannis. He does fit Giannis very well, which I have to say is good. He's that PJ Tucker mold you mentioned. It's really, really good. On Kevin Durant specifically, you've all said really good things. And, I guess my point would be, Chris, get out of my head because you said every single thing I had written down. So, you don't need Kevin Durant to be heliocentric. And at the end of the day, they're going to be amazing. Whether people like him, I'm a Devin Booker truther by any stretch of the imagination, and I just think that fit's going to be. He's not going to diminish any of his offensive ability. Like he's going to still be able to do the things he wants to do. But what's going to be really important, and what I took away from this was when he starts to do stupid things and take stupid shots. Sometimes in those middle of the third quarters when they need to keep themselves in games where they really could have came back against Dallas last year. That was a really big point where that third quarter they just collapsed. They couldn't do anything. Obviously, Dallas's defense was a testament to them. But the point is, having Kevin Durant there, that's going to be the guy to save you in those third quarter spots where you really need Devin Booker not to be the guy shot chucking at that point.
Yes, 100%. And it's going to be super, super rare for the both of them to be struggling on the same night. That's not going to happen most nights. And then, if they are, who's to say CP3 doesn't turn back the clock in a game? Who's to say that he isn't capable? He's shown it recently, especially. He's upped his play. He's looked great over the last, I'd say, 10 or so games. And I don't know, man. The Suns team is fucking scary.
Well, when you bring in KD, I think everybody else is a little bit of weight lifted off everybody else's shoulders. So I think he's going to be able to flow and do what he was doing and just be a passer, be a floor general. He doesn't got to drop 20 points. He could just put up his 12 points and 9 assists and call it a day.
I think Chris Paul is going to average 13 assists for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no,
just passing it to
all he's
D-Book
got to do.
and
He's
KD and Ayton.
Got to facilitate his offense, and that's it.
I think he's the perfect point guard for them too, if we're being honest, because he's going to make sure all these guys get their shots, which is the best part about it.
He is the point guard.
It is
He
Chris
is indeed
Paul.
the point guard.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I think he's going to be a really good point guard this
No,
year.
that's not what I said. I said he's literally the perfect point guard for them too. it's just perfect because he will make sure they get their shots in their spots. That's CP. He's the point guard,
He's
as you said.
the prototypical point guard. Yeah.
Point guard.
Yeah, I agree. I said all that in my video. I think, like you said, Dean, everyone gets a weight lifted off their shoulders. I think Chris Paul is the best playmaker Kevin Durant's played with in his career. Kevin Durant's played with a shit ton of great point guards, all-time greats. But in terms of being a playmaker, Kevin Durant hasn't played with someone like Chris Paul.
Yes.
I think Devin Booker's life, having a guy like KD to take pressure off you, like you said, Trevor, in the third quarters when he's shooting them out of games, that doesn't happen so much when you have a guy like KD who you could turn to if D-Book ever happens to be struggling. DeAndre Ayton, like we mentioned earlier, whether he fits or not, his role becomes easier. So I think it's a basketball fit. I really do think it's a match made in heaven. I don't like the Suns.
I hate them.
I'm not a Chris Paul guy.
I'm
I'm
gonna
really
love to hate
not.
them.
But like just basketball fit wise, it's gonna be good basketball.
So I know some of you mentioned the title part of it, right? I think, and I don't have all your names in front of me right now, so I think it's Trunks, right? That was the guy with the Trunks name, right? Is that you? Yeah, you mentioned it would like put them into this upper echelon of winning the title this year, right? So Denver has a four game lead on Memphis right now in the West, which the way the West is shaken up, the way Memphis is playing, that's unbelievable for them, and they're just continuing to roll. Some of you said that maybe this isn't the year because it takes less than or more than 6 months to get a team kind of congealed. If Denver and, let's say we put the Dallas series like last year, right? And whatever they played in the who'd they play in the Western Finals? I'm already forgetting.
The Warriors.
Warriors. Okay, so then obviously let's just assume they don't make it. So if Denver plays Phoenix in the conference finals, who comes out? I would still think Denver.
I think Phoenix.
I think Phoenix.
I think
also.
that's the matchup. If you're Denver, you don't want that matchup at all.
Well, no one does.
Well, obviously, but
yeah,
that's I think the worst possible case scenario for Denver. I don't think Denver is built to defend that team personally.
Okay,
and then they're gonna get Jokic played off the floor pretty quickly. I feel like, and I'm the biggest Jokic fan in the world, but he's getting played off the floor in that series, so. It's rough, but yeah, I think honestly, I think it's Suns in 6. If I'm being honest, maybe even 5. What team would you think is the best equipped to beat the Suns? Honestly, that's my question. What team in the West is best equipped?
Probably the Clippers.
Yeah, I was about to say the Clippers.
The Pelicans match up with them okay.
Yeah,
I
Clippers,
really do
definitely.
think the Mavericks match up with them.
The
honestly.
Warriors.
I was going to say Denver.
With Gary Payton.
You think so?
Yeah, that's why I asked the question.
Okay. I mean, it's definitely the Clippers.
DeAndre Ayton
probably
has.
If you're talking defensive versatility wise, yeah, it's definitely the Clippers.
Yes.
But I think Denver right now, the amount of stress it's going to put on the Suns defenders, which they now have 2 less capable of in Cam Johnson and in Mikal Bridges, that is a huge blow to them. And not necessarily that's not who you need against Jokic. Whether you say we're letting Jokic do his thing or whatever, he's going to win playoff series by letting him do his thing. 35, 15, and 12 is going to win playoff series. I don't care what anyone says. He's that kind of gravitational player. And they're starting to really get Aaron Gordon just had 37 the other night.
Yeah,
that's actually last night. Literally last night.
Against Orlando, yeah.
Okay, sure. Against his former team, that maybe there was some emotion there. But regardless,
they lost.
They have capable. They did. They lost on the road. They have capable pieces. I think that they are going to. It'll end up being. I mean, we know the winner's going to have to put up 140 every night, but I think Denver right now is in the best position, and they are showing that they can be consistent when they're healthy, and I think that's important in the playoffs. Plus, when you go best seven, like someone said earlier, you don't need your best 12. Like depth in the playoffs is overrated. Depth in the regular season, yeah, Denver needs to keep this up and needs to play their 10 guys, and as they start to shrink that rotation, I believe in their rotation a little bit more long term.
Yeah, no, I agree. Did you like I'm actually, we'll talk about Thomas Bryant later. I'll save that for later. But yeah, so grades overall, Chris, you gave yours. I'm giving honestly everyone involved in this 4-teamer. I think they all did well.
Yeah.
I think it's an
I
A
agree.
almost all around, if I'm being completely honest. I love every part of this. So Pacers just got involved just to get 3 second-round picks, essentially. So, Dean?
This is the KD's treats.
KD, Nets.
I don't love it for the Nets. I'll give it like a B- for the Nets. Just how everything went down. With the picks they got back, I'll give them the B.
Bucks
But-
getting Jay Crowder. Any thoughts on that?
That's an I'll give it A minus. Obviously the Suns getting Kevin fucking Durant. That's an
It's
A
an
plus.
A
That's an A
plus, yeah.
plus. Yeah.
So, Trev, what's your thoughts? Final thoughts on this trade?
So yeah, we didn't touch on the Nets too long, but the Pacers getting, I mean, essentially, I don't know if they'll buy George Hill out. There's too much of a logjam at point guard there, but Serge Ibaka is getting bought out. They got Jordan Noir as well, which I think is a really good piece for them as a young team. But yeah, I would give them an A because they swooped in and were like, "Can we have 3 second-round picks in cash?" Sure, like A plus for the Pacers. Bucks getting Jay Crowder. I guess based on my comments earlier, I have to say B or B minus. I think the Nets trade, because of Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and seeing how they retool, giving the assumption that they can retool around these guys and kind of figure out this roster over the next 12 months, going to be my favorite thing to watch over the next couple of months. But I have to give them a B minus. We just don't know what those picks are, and they're also 5 to 10 years in the future. And then Kevin Durant, easy A, but I'm going to say A plus because they got TJ Warren. We can't just like forget about that. Like TJ Warren, that's a rotational piece that is getting healthy at the right time. Shout out TJ Warren, the local guy here for me in North Carolina. But love TJ, and I think that's a really, really great fit. I think it's dumb that they didn't just use, even though it's the old, threads. I think whatever you would call it in the graphic world, but they literally put him in his Brooklyn jersey in that potential starting 5. I'm like he played in Phoenix in those jerseys already. Like, can we not just be lazy and go find a picture of TJ Warren? Anyway, A plus for the Suns.
Even Darius Bazley is gonna get some minutes in Phoenix.
Yeah, Darius Bazley. I forgot about that. Yeah,
That's right.
He's
That's
also
a really good. That's talking about wing defender. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
we'll
sure.
talk about that. I didn't talk about the Bucks. I give the Bucks, like you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I give them like a B. I said it in our little group chat yesterday when the trade happened. I don't think Jay Crowder is who people think Jay Crowder is. You kind of touched on everything.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll hop into this trade. This was the Raptors getting Jakob Poeltl, and the final details are the Raptors receiving Jakob Poeltl and the Spurs receiving Khem Birch, a 24 first-round pick. I wish I had the protections on these, and then 2 second-round picks. I'm assuming the first-round pick is, I think it's top 6 protected for the next 2 or 3 years, if I remember correctly. So yeah, what are our thoughts on this on both sides of the trade? Obviously, the Spurs, it's simple.
Yeah.
You wanted the draft picks and you got them.
I was surprised that the Raptors became buyers rather than sellers. I thought everyone was going to get traded, and they ended up trading no one and actually adding a player. Yeah, I was surprised. I guess they want to wait till the offseason and see where the rest of the season takes them, which I guess is understandable because they have so many pieces. But I don't know. I feel like they should have at least traded one of their guys personally. But this trade I like. Jakob's obviously upgraded center.
They needed him.
Yeah,
they needed him.
I tweeted this. So I said that the Raptors, I feel like they weren't getting on the market what they thought OG and Pascal what they were worth. Nobody was offering what they thought that they were gonna get. So in turn, they're like, all right, fuck it, we'll just wait until the offseason, sort out whatever we got to sort out, see where the NBA landscape sits at the end of the season. Because mid-season, it's crazy to trade 3 of your best players mid-season is a lot to fucking do. You know what I mean? Like, you really don't have time to sit and think about what you want to do as a team. So when you go into the offseason, you have a full offseason to think about it, see where guys are going to land in free agency. You have time to think about a trade.
Way more offers and stuff like
right.
that.
So it was really a pipe dream to think that the Raptors are going to get rid of Fred, OG, and Pascal. I didn't
think they were going to get rid
I
of
thought
Pascal.
Pascal was staying.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
but even
Pascal
if
was staying.
even 2 of those guys,
definitely
is still
thought
a
OG
lot.
was going to get traded, though.
Me too.
I feel like everyone thought that.
But
definitely
you could
saw
still
that, yeah.
trade him in the offseason and probably get a
Yeah.
similar package anyway. So
If not more.
Same with the rest of those
Exactly.
guys. Yeah.
exactly, because everyone's gonna want a 3-and-D wing like OG Anunoby. So, and it might even grow larger if you see the Suns dominate. So it's just gonna make the whole league adjust from here on out. You might get more, as
I
you
think
said.
props to the Raptors for staying patient and not just selling out.
Fair. I personally would have just
Blown it up.
thrown everyone out of there.
But why would you do that mid-season? For
I'm
what?
with, Orlando's the only team in the last decade to do that. So I mean, it's
is
rare for a team to do that. So I'm with Dean, right?
Yeah.
I wish I had all your names right here. I'm so
Oh,
bad
dude.
with names.
It's okay.
But no, regardless, and I want to make sure I'm addressing whoever said the point properly. But at the end of the day, like can we really doubt Masai Ujiri? So it's like,
Exactly,
no,
yes.
no.
that's why I'm like, okay, sure. Like I really thought OG was gone to the Warriors. It just it was everything I had heard, read, seen. I thought it was done. 259. Those 5 second-round picks end up getting him another deal. We'll talk about in a second. I thought it was going to be OG, but yeah, I don't know. This is not the team I thought Pirtle was going to. I thought there was too many contenders that needed Pirtle who had trade exceptions. I'm going to continue to hammer the fact that Denver had a trade exception that was literally to the $100,000 fit his contract. Like, what are we doing here? To get rid of Bones, you end up taking 2 second-round picks in. If it costs you a 24 first, which Denver has, it costs you 2 second-round picks. You got 3. I just don't understand if that's the price for Pirtle. Denver, come in and just like swipe him up. That changes everything in the West for them because that's a capable rim defender. It's the only thing they don't really have right now. And DeAndre Jordan's just a shell of himself. So that is all I have about the Pirtle trade because at the end of the day, not the team that I really thought was going to happen. I'll be honest. Whether they were buyers or sellers, it doesn't matter. But it just, somebody was going to pay him. He's going to get paid. People are going to be floored when he gets his contract in the offseason. That is why San Antonio wanted to get rid of him. Who cares about the picks? They didn't want to pay the guy. So it is what it is. He went to a place where he's going to get paid.
Agreed. Masai wanted his guy back.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. The Raptors, it's tricky because it really doesn't move any needles. Obviously, they have a gaping hole at center, so like he helps there, but they're not competing in the East with this roster as is. So it should be because they traded for him to pay him in the offseason. Like they're gonna pay him. So now that's another guy who you have under contract.
Yes.
So that means Fred and Gary Trent are essentially gonna get signed and traded in the offseason. They're gone.
So my only question for the Denver fit was this. Obviously, you don't operate with the fact that a guy would be getting only like 16 to 20 minutes a game, but that is what Jakob would be getting if he were to be traded to the Nuggets. And it's in a way, I guess they're kind of looking at it as, should we really trade a first round pick for a guy that is going to get 16 to 20 minutes and then be a free agent in the offseason and leave? Yes. I agree with that. But I'm just saying how it could be looked at. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm essentially saying where the other side of the spectrum would be for them in terms of their thought process with this whole trade. But you ended up getting a guy that was an offense first center instead of a guy that we thought was a perfect fit for them. Your offense doesn't have to change immensely. Obviously, you can't really post score like that, but it doesn't have to change immensely. You can run an offense through a center like Pirtle because he has that passing ability. But I don't know. It's tough. I didn't love it for the Raptors. It just didn't make sense to me. I thought the Spurs did incredibly well, if I'm being completely honest.
Did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Exactly. So I'm giving the Spurs an A, and I'm giving the Raptors like a C minus, honestly.
I agree.
So just a confusing trade for them. It doesn't move the needle for the Raptors, as you said, Chris. So, yeah, I think that's about all for that one. Of course, we didn't get the chance to touch on this one, and this one was a massive trade as well. So the Lakers trading Russell Westbrook to the Jazz in a 3-team deal here. So here we go. The Lakers get D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. The Timberwolves get Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and 3 second-round picks. And then the Jazz get Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Damian Jones, and only one 2027 first-round pick from the Lakers. And I believe it was top 4 protected.
Yes.
So, all right. A lot to break down here. We'll start with the Lakers. What is everybody's thoughts on the Lakers?
Great
part
trade
of
for the Lakers, especially getting Jared Vanderbilt. They're getting that defense that they need very badly. Kind of ties in with the Thomas Bryant trade. Having a very bad defending big man. Now you're getting a very good one.
And another one.
Yeah. But I think this instantly makes them a way better team. I'm excited to see what they look like. You said it the other day when they made the trade. You were like, I think this puts them into like a new tier. I
genuinely do. Yes.
I think it could.
What tier did you say?
I'm going to be honest, and this is fucking crazy, but I might be the only person that says I think this makes the Lakers a contender.
No.
I think there's just too much ground to make up.
I personally think this makes the Lakers a contender again. Like,
not a chance.
The moves that they made at the deadline,
they did make really good moves.
You added everything you needed.
Nah.
It's tough. We gotta see what the team looks
Not
like,
this, bro.
At least see one game of them before we say that.
No, I know, I agree, which is why I'm saying it because it's a hot take right now.
But
They're
They did a
13 games
very
out of
good
first
job.
place.
They're 2 games behind the fucking OKC Thunder. You
Yeah,
motherfucker.
I'm not disagreeing with that. That you're 100% right. Yes, as of current standings, yes, they are not good. They're very bad, actually.
And I get what you mean. Like, in my personal opinion, if the whole team's healthy and these pieces do end up fitting and they look like a good team, I think even if they get in as like a 7-8 seed, I think they could beat anyone.
Yes.
I do think that. But we got to see what they look like first.
No, I agree.
I got to see what they look like before I say that they're a contender.
I agree, but that's why I'm going out on the limb
Yeah.
and saying it.
I
'Cause
do
wanna
think-
I want to
yeah.
be the guy that said it
No,
before everyone else.
I do always think that
'Cause I
if you have
believe it.
LeBron and AD, you have the potential to beat anyone. And
Yes.
they just got a lot better as a team. So yeah, I could see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, you added D'Angelo Russell, who honestly over the last couple of months has kind of essentially gotten ready for playing next to LeBron. I mean, Anthony Edwards is taking the ball a lot more, especially recently. And D'Angelo Russell's usage rate has dropped. And in terms of playing off the ball, he's been shooting incredibly well off of the ball as well. So I think obviously LeBron is the best at creating those open 3-point looks, and D'Angelo Russell will feed off of that. And he'll probably run a lot of the second unit, which I think is perfect. Next to a guy, possibly him and AD staying on the floor together and LeBron coming off. D'Angelo Russell brings them that third player that I don't need him to be elite because I have 2 of the best in the league already, but I can use 15 and 7 from him with a decent 45% shooting from the field and 38% shooting from 3.
Yeah, that's the
Malik-
biggest thing. They got shooters too.
Exactly. Malik Beasley is the type of guy that'll run off screens and just fire away. He's never seen a shot he didn't like. Jared Vanderbilt is the wing defender that you needed to add. And he's also elite at protecting the rim as well. He's one of the most versatile defenders in the entire NBA. And then, of course, Mo Bamba. We can't forget about that. You traded essentially.
Can't forget about Mo Bamba.
You cannot forget about Mo Bamba. The man has a song named after him.
Damn right he does.
So he's a rim protecting big that can also stretch the floor. He has the side of the ball that Thomas Bryant didn't, which is a big difference as well. So personally, yes, I'm going out on the limb and I'm saying that the Lakers are title contenders this season.
I love it.
All right,
I
so
hope they are.
I hate it.
So
I hope they
Damn.
are.
so Mo Bamba, there's a reason why Mo Bamba wasn't getting minutes on a young Orlando team. Mo Bamba is not important for this Lakers team. The idea of Mo Bamba could play alongside Anthony Davis because he could stretch the floor and he could block shots. But Mo Bamba isn't as good as the idea of Mo Bamba. That's first.
I don't need him to play 25 minutes though.
He's not going to even play.
That's what I'm saying.
I
He
think
wasn't
he will
playing
play.
in Orlando, bro.
I think he will get.
He's going to play, and then he's
15
going to
minutes
show
per
why
game.
he wasn't playing.
He has to be better than Wenyan Gabriel. Wenyan Gabriel's
Wenyan's
been good. He's
for
been
them.
good.
Right,
Yes,
that's
yes.
what I'm
Wenyan's
so
saying.
why,
good
so
for
why
them.
do you need Mo
But
Bamba?
Mo
to give you
Bamba
minutes?
should be better than Wenyan
Right.
Gabriel.
Okay,
You
but
traded for Jared Vanderbilt to play alongside Anthony Davis.
even then,
You
that's fine.
Traded Thomas Bryant to open minutes for Wenyan Gabriel. Mo Bamba is not better than Wenyan Gabriel.
and if Mo Bamba doesn't play, I'm perfectly
Right.
okay with Wenyan
So-
Gabriel getting more minutes.
Right.
So either way, I mean,
that's only my point. Mo Bamba doesn't move any needle. Jared Vanderbilt, I think, it's going to be a rude awakening for some people when he's playing in Los Angeles. That he's another guy. Same way I feel about Jay Crowder, who's just not who people think he is. He's a great player. He's very good as a rim protector. He's not that good of a perimeter defender.
No, he's not.
He's not this great perimeter defender like people think. He doesn't really stretch the floor. So, yes, in theory, he could guard fours, but the problem with Thomas Bryant, why you traded Thomas Bryant, was because he couldn't stretch the floor next to Anthony Davis. Jared Vanderbilt isn't stretching any floors. So, yes, in theory, it's a great move, but it's not going to be this seamless. You plug him right in, he's going to change life for everything. Malik Beasley, can't argue against Malik Beasley. That's a great pickup. He's a shooter. The Lakers needed shooters from the wing position. Can't argue anything about that. But I will say, shooters, when they come and play with LeBron, instantly forget how to shoot the ball. So we'll see how
Some.
that. Most of them.
Most of them definitely do.
Most of them.
I think
So we'll
Malik
see.
Beasley will have the adverse effect. If I'm being completely honest,
We'll wait and see. It definitely can't say anything about that pickup. The D'Angelo Russell pickup, it's iffy because we've seen D'Angelo Russell be really good as of late, but we also seen D'Angelo Russell struggle in the beginning of the season. So
He's not consistent. That's
okay.
just
So
what it
I'll
is.
phrase it
and
like
I
this,
agree.
though.
Before you go, I definitely get your point about the fit in Los Angeles compared to the fit in Minnesota. He's not really being asked to be the lead guard, and get others involved. He's just asked to go and get a bucket. So I think that helps him. But like even when D'Angelo Russell's role is to go get a bucket, like we could see him. We've seen him struggle before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I said you don't really need to worry about if those struggles do necessarily come, because you also have a guy like Austin Reeves that could just step in the starting lineup, and all you need him to do is play tough, hard-nosed defense and shoot some threes. If D'Angelo Russell had to sit the bench a little bit, Lonnie Walker has been solid for them. I mean, not to mention, obviously, you got Malik Beasley and stuff. I mean, they now have depth, which I couldn't say for them, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I mean, the depth has completely changed. And I think that's a great thing for them personally. And I think it gives you a lot of lineup versatility, which is beautiful as well. So, Trev, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Lakers.
All right. Lakers hat off because I need to be constructive. So there's a lot to unpack there. And I think you all said good things, but I want to tear them apart for a second, only because I want to be constructive of, first of all, Wenyen Gabriel is not as good as everyone's making him out to be. I'm sorry. I watch every single game. He is a liability. Now, granted, third-year player, I think Mo Bamba is at least going to be a little bit more versatile. You mentioned the three, not as good of a finisher at the rim, which I think is important, and he is a better rebounder. So regardless of the Mo Bamba points, Jared Vanderbilt is like that, that girl at the bar that you're eyeballing for 3 hours, right? You're leaning on the bar. You're like, should I go talk to her? She's the pretty girl in the corner of the bar that you're like, and my wife's probably going to watch this, but pre that stuff, right? But he really is like, so when you made a point and you were like, hey, he's the guy who's going to be rude awakening for fans that might not casually know who Jared Vanderbilt is. If they don't, shame on them. But he's going to be really, really impactful for them. He's going to end up playing tremendously more minutes than people expect. Malik Beasley, he's for me, I'm in a bunch of fantasy basketball leagues. I think I pick him up 4 times a week. So I just in and out of the lineup. He's going to be a guy that we might see play 25 minutes in one game. We might see him play 4.
Yep.
He's going to be a guy that we don't know what he's going to be yet, because I really don't understand. I understand what his role is as a player, but we're not even talking about the Obama thing for a second. I don't care what anyone says. I have seen enough of D'Angelo Russell, that, for God's sake, he's the only Laker jersey left in my closet right now. Like, I don't know why I still have it. It's still in there, right? He was on the team already. I got to see what he was as a young point guard. I think he's learned a lot in other places. I think he's done a really good job. However, if all I'm asking him to do is be an off-ball scorer, then yeah, it's an upgrade over Russell Westbrook, but we'll talk about that in a second. But I just don't know if I don't care if it's D'Angelo Russell being a 15 point per game scorer off the ball. I just don't think the fit's great. I just don't think he's we got to see enough of Anthony Edwards where I was saying all offseason that regardless of Rudy Gobert, they had a point guard problem, not a center problem. Right? Karl Anthony Towns still a capable enough defender. We don't have to. I was in the chat when that Karl Anthony Towns debate happened. Okay, we don't have to go down the Karl Anthony Towns route again. I was in the chat for that. I don't want to do that again. But D'Angelo Russell being an off-ball scorer, I'm just not in love with it, and I don't think it's going to be impactful enough. And I don't think it's going to. I think it makes him a play, better than a play-in contender, like 6th seed. But to be and I'm going to kind of be the devil's advocate here. If you all think 13th, 12th, whatever they are in the West right now, you're thinking they're going to be top 3, 4. If you're a contender, you're a top 4 seed in the West, right? So I think it's going to balance them out, and I think it is going to give them depth. I think that is really important. But for all that stuff about Russell Westbrook to come out, I can't hear that, and I can't think that it's true, because whether he is that kind of guy or not, everything we know, I think his image is being clouded, and I'm really frustrated with some of the stuff that people are. The sources say of the Lakers. The sources said that he was a vampire in the locker room. I don't care what Dave Minimick says. That's just not who he was on this team.
No.
He was started to get frustrated with the trade rumors like anybody else would.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, he is a guy that even if LeBron, people are going to find these clips of him talking to him on the bench and whatever, and I'll close up here. But it is really frustrating to see. Now, granted, do I think this is an upgrade of a move? Absolutely. I am not naive to that. I get it. But he embraced the 6-man role, and obviously he was a liability when he came in and they played together as a group, which is hard to do in the playoffs. You can't basically just have him be a 6-man the whole playoffs and then not play him in crunch time. That's just not what's going to happen. So at least you have 3 guys you can play in crunch time. There we go.
Yeah. No, I agree with every point you made there. 100%.
I'm frustrated either way.
Yeah. So a lot of things being dropped in the chat right now. That I'll read. Deadpool said D'Lo works best off ball, and if you look at his time on the Warriors and his time when Ant became the main ball handler on the Wolves, he was playing the best he ever has. Also, I will state that the biggest thing with D'Angelo Russell throughout his career is the reason he's become so inconsistent at times is also because he was never able to stay on the floor, especially recently. He's been so injury prone, especially recently, missing a bunch of games. Well, not this season. He's stood healthy, and therefore this is why you see his most efficient season of his career. And you love D'Angelo Russell, that I know.
Wish
but-
he was a Knick a
do.
couple years ago.
So I don't think he's going to just be put in this off-ball role. I think there will be a lot of times that LeBron maybe not defers to him, but gives him the opportunity to get himself in rhythm and dribble the ball and run pick and rolls with Anthony Davis. I think LeBron will be more than willing to take that step back a little bit right now in the regular season, and then in the playoff time and in crunch time, take over when he has to now. So I think it's perfect. I think it works perfect for them. That's why I think this team is a championship contender now.
You mentioned the chat, by the way. I want to point out one thing that O'Sleazy said about Vanderbilt's role.
Sleazy's in the chat. I'm sorry, Sleazy.
No, you're good. And I don't know. Y'all know. It sounds like y'all know who it is, but I have to I don't want to tear him apart. But that second comment, I'm with you with the Vanderbilt's going to play
The hitting
Matisse
open
Thybulle.
shots. Yeah, no.
Hitting open shots on Matisse Thybulle? He got traded because he couldn't do that. He wasn't playing for Philly. He's shooting 43, 33, and 75 on less than 5 attempts. Like, bro, what? Hitting open shots?
No, I agree. Yeah, no, open shots are not exactly Jared Vanderbilt's thing. He's not going to be. That's why.
No, I'm talking about Matisse Thybulle. No, Jared Vanderbilt can at least shoot them. Matisse Thybulle is not a good offensive player.
Yeah, Matisse Thybulle is one of the worst offensive players in the NBA, but Jared Vanderbilt is also not very good in terms of shooting open shots.
No,
but
that is yes, I'm with you.
But he makes his money on the offensive end in other ways, such as offensive rebounding. He's a very good offensive rebounder. But yeah, Matisse Thybulle is just a complete and total negative on the offensive end of the floor. It's not even close. But O'Sleazy said the Kings and the Grizzlies don't want to see the Lakers in the first round if they stay healthy. I agree. I don't think any team wants to see these Lakers in the first round, if I'm being completely honest. So LeBron and Anthony Davis are not going to be fun to go up against. So hopefully everyone stays healthy. And Deadpool said hopefully Vando can make the jump that GP2 was able to make shooting corner threes. But we haven't really, he's been all right this season in terms of shooting the corner three, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to rely on Jared Vanderbilt to make some corner threes the rest
You
of the
also
season.
don't need to, so it's fine. It's fine
You
too.
do need to, though.
definitely
You
That's-
do need. You do.
LeBron,
They
you
need.
do.
They need spacing. Period. That Thunder game was awful to watch. I understand LeBron was going
Yeah,
for
that
it.
was,
Like,
that was painful.
I love
It was
Jared
so bad.
Vanderbilt. I think he's a really good player and he has a place in this league. I don't think his place is playing alongside of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I don't think the fit is just as seamless for him as everyone's making it out to be. I think he's a really, really, really good player though. Like, I don't want to,
I'm shocked that Utah moved him. I really am.
Me
I'm
too.
shocked Utah moved him.
Me too. I thought he would be a guy that could be a staple there, if I'm being completely honest, especially because he's young. But okay, so that was one part of the trade. That was the main portion of the trade. Of course, I do want to touch real quick. The Jazz, I don't really want to go deep into. I don't think anyone here really does.
Basically did it for a first round pick.
But which was crazy because I thought they could have gotten more. But
I'm surprised it wasn't both firsts. But
yeah, but
with that, like with protections on it.
I'm not
obviously,
questioning
but
Danny Ainge at all.
Yeah.
Not going to question Danny Ainge. He's one of those guys, like you said, with Masai Ujiri. I'm not questioning Danny Ainge.
They were also at the mercy of what the Wolves needed to do as well. So they had to work it where there was no way that second round pick was coming. If anything, that second round pick was going to Minnesota.
I agree. So we'll speak on Minnesota's side of this trade now. What do we think about them getting Mike Conley? Obviously, the Nikhil Alexander-Walker part of it is, I think it's a kind of interesting flyer there, if I'm being completely honest. I still think there's something there with Nikhil. And then 3 second-round picks. What do we think of that side of the trade for the Timberwolves?
I just think Mike Conley's a way better fit than what D'Angelo was doing in Minnesota in terms of being able to get other people the ball and being a playmaker that they need him to be.
Bingo.
Agreed.
I agree.
Agree. 100%.
I just don't love that they
That was
got
easy.
older.
Yes.
That's the only thing.
Of course, there's that, but you have so much youth on this team
Yeah.
in a way that it's like
You
it's
need someone
okay,
there,
and you
yeah.
can open up your maybe not title contention window. They're probably not
No.
title contenders at all.
Definitely not.
But Mike Conley, also an underrated aspect of this trade. Who does he have chemistry with? Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Therefore, that is going to help immensely. Last season, Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert were an elite pick and roll duo together. Like, whether you want to admit it or not. So therefore, him coming back and joining Rudy Gobert is going to help immensely. That will get Rudy more involved. And of course, he's a great off-ball shooter. So Mike Conley was just a perfect fit, and he doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time, but when he has it, he's effective. So yeah, I mean, I think it's that simple for the Timberwolves. I think it was the perfect swap. I think you needed Mike Conley, and there you go. So
I've always said not to keep talking about D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell's kind of more of a two,
more of a two
and he's been forced to be a point guard
with
most of
good
his career,
playmaking ability.
and
Yeah,
it kind of isn't really what he's supposed to be doing out there. Anyway, sorry.
no, I
wanted to say
agree.
that.
You're 100% right. So, all right, the next one is this is staying on the Lakers, honestly. So the Nuggets had Thomas Bryant in a 4-team trade. The Nuggets got Thomas Bryant. The Lakers got Mo Bamba, Devon Reed, and a second-round pick. The Clippers got Bones Highland, and then the Magic got Patrick Beverly, who I'm assuming they're going to buy out, a 24 second-round pick, and then cash consideration. So
Yeah, he's getting bought out. You already said it.
It already said it?
It
Okay,
didn't
cool.
happen yet, but
Pat Bev is going to help someone big time.
Yeah.
I think he's going to help someone big time.
I saw he might go back to the Timberwolves.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that
Cool.
happen.
Bring it back to LA. I don't know if that's even illegal or not. I really don't. Is that like
No, I
legal?
think you
I
can.
don't think
You-
you,
I think
I
you
don't think
can.
you can.
I don't think you can
Pretty
either. I think it
crazy
has
rule
to be.
against
There's
that.
like a window that it has to
Yeah.
be in, and yeah, I was trolling, but like he was. I've
It
never
would
said
make
this
sense.
publicly, but I've just hated Pat Bev his whole career because of the way he acts and stuff. And obviously he was a Clipper for a while there too. So I have always disliked Pat Beverly, and then it's kind of funny. There's every sport has these guys, but like once he's on your team, you love him.
Yep.
I love Pat Beverly. Like I'm in now for life. Like he's been on my team. I take back everything I've ever said or thought about
I
him.
like his story too. His
Yes.
Yeah,
in the
it's
NBA.
important.
Yeah.
Pat
important.
Bev is, and all of his interviews, he's cool as fuck. And I absolutely love Patrick
Great
Beverly.
pod too, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
this podcast is dope.
Mhm.
Absolutely. He's honestly one of my favorite players just because of the defensive mentality and the fact that he grinds for everything. So I love Pat Bev, man. But anyways, yeah, the other parts of this trade, what do we think of the Nuggets and their backup center now and Thomas Bryant?
Mid.
Yes, I agree. Completely
There were
agree.
other guys out there for them.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
disappointed.
it's better than fucking DeAndre.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they made an upgrade.
DeAndre Jordan
Definitely
I almost
made
said,
an
I almost said
upgrade.
Ayton, but
100%. I just think
They could have done better.
there were other guys out there for the Nuggets. I'm disappointed in the Nuggets deadline.
I agree.
how DeAndre Jordan was still getting significant minutes is
Yeah.
beyond me.
I've been saying
It
that
was
for
hit
like
or miss.
a
It should have
season
been.
and a
No, he
half.
won't.
Stop
Should have
it.
been-
Yeah, right. Thank
Dwight
God.
Howard should have been there. DeMarcus Cousins should have been there.
Yes.
Dwight Howard is not.
Dwight
uh,
Howard would have been perfect. in
DeAndre
Denver,
Jordan's terrible.
but
Can you imagine
Dwight
a
Howard-
Jokic
should
to
have been
Dwight
out there
Howard
3
lob?
years ago.
Oof,
Exactly,
to Howard
that
lob.
would have been crazy.
been awesome.
would've been
But
crazy.
I actually just saw a report like 10 minutes ago. The Nuggets are eyeing Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
Wow.
So if he gets bought out, he's probably going to the Nuggets.
I-
guess
I-
That
That's
makes
cool.
no sense to me.
it,
guess
it
it's
does
whatever.
make sense. I think it makes
So
a
it
why
lot of
do you
does.
sense.
trade Bones Highland if you're
Oh,
just
yeah,
gonna
that-
get Reggie Jackson? Bones Highland is younger. He's under team control. I
If
don't-
the coaching staff stuff is true, don't want
Yeah,
a guy
I
like
get-
that on the team. It is what it is, but it's frustrating because I think the Clippers, for everybody involved, I think the Nuggets wanted to keep him. I mean, he was going to be up for a paycheck eventually,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
Bones Highland to be gotten for 2 second-round picks, it's just, I mean, man, shout out
Crazy.
to the Clippers.
I
for that.
completely agree. That's what I was going to say. I think that's the best part of the trade. I think the Clippers made
Yeah.
out incredibly well
They
getting
did.
Bones in this
Yeah.
part of the trade. I think he's he can get played off the floor defensively. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, in terms of microwave scoring and just catching fire at any given moment, Bones is arguably one of the best in the league on the bench to be able to do that. So I love that for the Clippers, and especially because they didn't have many guards. They really have none anymore at this point. So Russell Westbrook probably heading to the Clippers, though.
So, do the Clippers plan? Well, I know we'll get to the trade, but do the Clippers plan on keeping Eric Gordon?
Yeah,
I don't
think
see why
so.
not.
I would think so.
I have a feeling it's a rental.
Oh, you mean
You mean, like,
Pat?
buying him
not
out,
Pats,
right?
Yeah, I mean buying him out.
No,
Yeah.
I don't see why.
Oh
they would.
no, they're keeping Eric
I
Gordon.
could see a world where Bones
pretty sure he's a
Highland
free agent
ends
after the
up
season,
and
though.
it's not even a better situation for him, and he's not even getting minutes.
I agree. I
So-
think Bones. I don't think
I
Bones
think
is
if
going to
you're,
get many
I think
minutes.
if you're the Clippers, obviously you do this trade 10 times out of
Yes.
10. You take it 2 second-round picks for a guy like that, but will he be significant for them come playoff time? We'll see.
He'll
Eric-
fall into the Luke Kennard situation.
Eric Gordon is, and Luke Kennard was a cat. I will talk about that in a second, but as I have some thoughts on that. But Luke Kennard, Eric Gordon is Norman Powell insurance. So if Norman Powell has those 5-point stinker games off the bench, which he's capable of having 30 off the bench, we've seen that before in Toronto and Portland, but he's just very safe 3-point shooting off the bench that Norman Powell might lack if they need it to be there.
And also, Eric Gordon has that threat of pulling up from 35. So there's very few guys in the league that are capable of that. Eric Gordon is one of those guys. We forget how good he is because he's been in fucking Houston, just rotting away over the last couple of years. So, I mean, Eric Gordon going to the Clippers, this is where it all began for him, is it not? So yeah, I mean, the reunions. But yeah,
Fool
I mean,
says, where will Bones find minutes if the Clippers get Russ? That's exactly what I was.
yes, I don't think he will.
Even if it's not Russell Westbrook, I think the Clippers are going to get some buyout point guard. I'm sure Bones will get minutes in spot games, but will he be a major part of the playoff rotation? Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Agreed. So of course we spoke about the Mo Bamba situation and stuff like that, but all right,
We can skip that one.
apologies to Bruno Fernando, Garrison Matthews, Justin Holiday, and Frank Kaminsky.
We don't give a fuck about you.
I'm not gonna to
be fucking brutally honest.
It's one way to put it. All right, we'll cover this one real quick. The Suns and the Thunder get a trade done. Darius Bazley goes to the Suns, and the Thunder get Dario Saric and a 29 second-round pick. I honestly think it worked for both sides.
Yeah.
I think it was a good trade for both sides. You get a pick if you're the Thunder, and Dario Saric, who, I mean, he's still a decent player. He's looked better recently. Darius Bazley's a wing defender, and he's a big man in a way that you could play small ball big with him, and it's a versatile lineup. So, good trade on both sides, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm solid.
Yeah,
Not
Darius
much to say.
Bazley's a really good defender, man.
Yes.
The game he got played out of the rotation in OKC, but he's a really good. He's gonna help this Phoenix team.
For sure.
Think the Thunder, obviously, you get picks.
So
Simple.
this is another, honestly, we could say big one.
It is a big one because of how it played out, really.
So the Pistons received James Wiseman, the former second overall pick. The Warriors get Gary Payton II back and 3 conditional future second-round picks. The Hawks receive Sadiq Bey. And the Trailblazers receive our boy, Fortnite, Kevin Knox, and 5 future second-round picks.
Kevin Knox.
Let's go, Kevin.
So
God,
He's going to
damn.
shine there next to Davis.
he shoots the shit out that corner 3 ball. So,
Wow. So can almost every NBA player in the
so
that's
fucking
not-
league.
I don't know who said it. in
God
the,
damn.
Batiste eyeball can't.
exactly.
Teams can't. No, you're right.
I don't know who said it in the group chat yesterday when it went down, but it's basically like the Warriors drafted James Wiseman second, drafted Gary Payton second overall.
Yeah, I said that yesterday in
Like,
the chat. I go,
They
Gary
like
Payton was
cool,
drafted
like
second.
technically, yeah, where they're at, it's a good move, but like, man, it sucks for them. Like
That yeah.
they
They could have had like LaMelo
uh,
Ball. Yeah. Anthony
could have
Edwards.
had him.
Nah,
They
you
could have
couldn't have
just
had Anthony
re-signed
Edwards.
Gary Payton.
Man was
and-
gone.
He went first, right?
Edwards
Yeah.
went 1.
Yeah.
But
Could have had LaMelo Ball
LaMelo.
next to
Yeah.
Steph Curry and Klay
Yeah,
Thompson.
they
But
fucked that one up.
I'm gonna
instead,
be
you have
honest,
Gary Payton.
I'm gonna be honest. I would have rather you would just pick Denny. Like obviously hindsight's 2020, but
yeah,
I still
no.
think he was a better fit in a
You-
way.
At
for
the,
the
you
at
wouldn't
the
have
time, even
system.
You
I
wouldn't have
thought it
picked
was.
any two.
I thought it was the right move, honestly, for them
Yeah,
at the
well,
time.
obviously,
Getting
hindsight's
James Wiseman,
2020.
but
I
you know,
mean, James
it made
played,
he was the perfect fit.
he played half a college game. Didn't he play?
Nah,
like
he played like
2
4
games?
games. He played like
Yeah.
4 college
Barely
games, and
fucking
that was
played.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 for Memphis, and then he was done.
Yeah, I
Gary-
thought James Wiseman was the right pick for them, in my opinion, at the time,
Look,
because he fit. But
I'm
now we're
just-
here.
I'm just saying,
And-
getting Gary Payton back was a good move.
Yes, it was.
Did it cost your former second
Sucks
overall
how it
pick?
happened.
Yes, but
but-
here's my thing. James Wiseman, whatever he can turn into, he was never going to turn into on the Warriors. The opportunity wasn't there, and he just at this moment in his career, and especially by the time his rookie deal was done, English,
Good job.
he wasn't going to get playing time for them, and that was obvious. So I think, is there a future for James Wiseman? Possibly. I don't think so. I
I
just
hope
don't think
so.
it's. I don't think it's there with him.
I was saying he was the
but-
next Tim Duncan.
Yeah, you are
That's pretty
fucking
insane.
crazy.
Just because of like how the
God damn,
situation was, when like the Warriors were
crazy.
hurt for like that
Oh,
season, and they were still
no.
a great team.
Tim,
I was saying
Oh, the
this-
hypothetical's
not-
great.
no,
Oh, I get you.
Duncan,
I get
if you're
you.
watching this,
No.
I'm sorry you had to hear
No,
that just now.
I didn't
Holy
think he was
shit.
going to be as good as Tim Duncan. I thought like the situation would be like the same in a way.
the disrespect.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they
the
they
start of
definitely
his
were
career.
same, but
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He got a ring, so it kind of worked out.
But I think for the Pistons, it's a good.
It's a
solid
good
pickup.
flyer. It's
Yeah.
a good flyer for the Pistons, but it costed Sadiq Bey.
The Pistons like their second overall. Big
thank
man
you.
work out.
It's not even. They'll say the Wiseman's not even the most important piece of this trade. Atlanta
Yeah.
Atlanta, who's trying to be a contender, gets a really capable 3-and-D player. Who, by the way, I'm gonna put it out for you guys. I am a Sadiq Bey truther, so I'm gonna cloud this conversation more than I should. But he is unbelievable. He's a 14.5 point per game scorer. 35% from three. Obviously, his shooting efficiencies inside the 3-point arc aren't as good as they should be, but he's a capable free throw shooter, 86%. He's a guy that can defend your second best player on a championship team. Like, he's a capable player, and I just realized he's also from Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to Sadiq Bey. But I really like Sadiq Bey. I think it's fit-wise, it's huge for Atlanta. They keep John Collins, so essentially it would be, they could rotate John Collins and Sadiq Bey in and out if they needed to. This is a really, really great move for Atlanta. I think it's the most important piece.
Talking about Atlanta, not moving John Collins is kind of like a big kind of thing. No,
They wanted a lot for him though, so I kind of get it.
Look,
they've been wanting a lot for him for 3 years.
He's still a very good player. I'm gonna be honest. He's still a very good player. Is it the perfect spot for him? No, especially with Clint Capella there. It's hard for him to constantly be running in the pick and roll, which I think is the best possible fit for him because he's such an athletic big man. But in the end, I mean, it's tough, but I'm going to look at the fact that they got Sadiq Bey, which is perfect for them because he gives you a lot of lineup versatility. I mean, I'm trying to look at his catch and shoot metrics. He's a better catch and shoot player than, what he's been asked to do there in Detroit in terms of he'll get better shots with DeJounte and Trae Young. They're also asking him to do a lot of stuff off the dribble in Detroit, which maybe he's not incredibly comfortable with. And I think it's a perfect fit. I think he'll be able to focus more on the defensive side of the ball. And, of course, he's already a solid defender, and who's to say it can't get even better?
I agree. I think Atlanta made out well here. Detroit, it's interesting. I get it from their perspective. I think Sadiq Bey probably capped out in Detroit. Like, that's what Sadiq Bey would have been in Detroit. He wasn't, going to emerge to be anything else. James Wiseman at the end of the day is a guy who, in terms of upside, there's still bless you. In terms of upside, there's still something there. But I was talking to Ortiz about this last night. Say Detroit ends up with the number 1 pick. You're drafting Victor. So now you have a huge logjam in the front court. You Victor, you have Jalen Duran, you have James Wiseman, you have Isaiah Stewart, and you have Marvin Bagley for that.
I think you're more than fine with moving on from Isaiah Stewart and James Wiseman.
No.
If you draft Victor, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wiseman, yeah.
Beef stew is good. Beef stew is really good.
Saying,
I get that, but if you draft Victor, you don't need Isaiah Stewart. I'm sorry, you do not.
Victor's not going to play center anyway. Like, why can't you play them next to each other?
I agree.
Yeah,
I guess
Isaiah Stewart's been playing the 4.
So I'm saying if you were to get rid
Victor's
of
going to play the 4 more than people realize. He's going to play the 4 because he can stretch the floor.
His
not
mobility
efficiently yet, but
it just brings some questions up because you did give up Sadiq. Like, say you do get Victor, then it's like, okay, James Wiseman probably isn't a part of the long-term plans because I take Jalen Duran clears everyone. He's the best center I've seen in my entire life.
Well, you
rebounding, blocks as a role man.
You see, they plan on starting Wiseman.
Yeah, I don't know
over Duran.
That's fucking
crazy. I love that.
You didn't see that?
I love it.
Shut up, Trunks. Fuck you.
I love James Wiseman.
But
I'm sick of this shit.
But Jalen Duran's the best. Beef Stew, I think, has shown this year that like he needs minutes, and then you draft Victor's Victor. So then essentially James Wiseman's out the rotation in a sense.
You have Marvin Bagley.
And so you traded Sadiq Bey for a guy, James Wiseman, who's out of your rotation.
Is it crazy to pose if the Pistons were to get the first overall pick? Do you possibly trade it?
No. There's no chance.
Just
Victor
because
any other year, yes.
Highest touted.
What happened, Trev?
Any other year, yes. But I'm sorry, this is one of the greatest things. And by the way,
you draft Victor.
If they get second, like it's not like Scoot Henderson. Like you don't even think about it twice. I don't care what you have with Kate Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. Scoot Henderson's the second best guard I've ever seen. Like, and I'm not trying to. I'm a little Jalen Duran thing threw me off. I'm still trying to gather my thoughts. Chris, but Scoot Henderson, like I got to see John Wall play in person live, like when he was in high school. That is something I don't take lightly. Scoot Henderson, it is literally like just I can't even any other draft. He's 1, and then there's the gap that we think between 1 and 2, like normal.
Yeah.
And if Detroit takes him, Detroit's going to be fine regardless. If they get the 5th pick, they'll get a conglomerate of Jarris Walker, which I think would kind of make this whole situation and conversation confusing. But they'll get somebody like Brandon Miller if he's available at 4.
Yes.
One of the Thompson twins, Osar, can play off the ball better than Amen can. So there's an unbelievable fit here for Detroit. I'm just not sure it was worth the cost of Sadiq Bey, he will cost something very soon. He will cost probably 80+ million.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Real quick, just to touch on the draft, I just want to ask your opinion on this. Which of the brothers do you think is going to be the better NBA player?
I'm really glad you asked it that way because I am not in on both of them just yet. Like I have them in my top 10 like everyone should. But it's so hard to answer that question because I've actually thought of that because
it is tough.
Only reason it's tough is because I'll give the example. So I have an episode of Draft Chat going out. What's today? Friday? God, I don't even know what day it was. Tomorrow morning. It's going out Saturday morning. And it was with a good friend of mine, Trust the Buzz. And we talked about the Hornet scenario where if he goes to a place like Charlotte, where I think Amen's development, he's going to need the ball for the first few years of his career. So if he goes somewhere where he's not getting the ball, his development's going to stunt pretty strongly. I think because of that being said, I think Osar has a better chance, and people are probably going to overreact to this, but Osar has a better chance to be a better NBA player long term because I think he's going to be able to develop quicker and better because of the fit and the role he'll be able to have. By all means, they're both horrible shooters. I get that. The form's there. Things are coming together, right? They're going from 21% start of the season to now 27, 28, 29%, depending on some of those games. But I think Amen is going to end up being an incredible player, but I think it's going to be really, really, really dependent on where he goes. He goes to Detroit. I just don't know what he's going to do.
I don't like the fit there either. I don't
like the fit. By the way, you look at the top, I don't like the fit in most places in the top 4 to 5. I really don't for Amen. I hope he's the guy that falls.
San Antonio.
I hope San Antonio, actually, yeah, that's a good piece there. So if San Antonio's,
that's the one.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
that's probably the best
tough, but yeah.
No, yeah, I think that Amen. That's good. San Antonio is probably your best fit in the top 4. I think he should be a really good guy for a team that's gonna like. Oh wow, he fell 3 spots. We had him 2 on our board, and he just fell 3 spots. It's like he's gonna be that guy. I think in the middle of the first 10 picks, and I think that'll be good for him. Agreed. And it just depends on the fit. So that's a good question. I think Osar is probably my answer.
When I did my first little mock draft TikTok, I had them both in the at 3 and 4. I moved both of them as of recently below Keontae George and Brandon Miller as of now. I think they're both really good, but it's so tough to evaluate them.
It is 100%. But okay, so real quick, any thoughts on Gary Payton being back on the Warriors? I think he's exactly what they need in a way. I've said this all season almost.
I mean, we saw him on this team already,
For where they are now, it was a good trade. It was a great trade for them because they needed it.
Yes, I agree.
It sucks looking back, but it was good.
Yes.
Oh, Sweezy says, do you think Keontae George goes top 10? I think Keontae George is the 4th best player in the draft, so that answers that. As for Gary Payton, yeah, I mean, he obviously helps them. He's not going to hurt them. The Warriors, we're almost getting to a point where we're, all season it's been you can't count the Warriors out there. The Warriors, we're getting to a point, not yet, but we're getting to a point where we're going to have to start counting the Warriors out at some point.
Fair.
Y'all called me crazy.
Nope.
We did call you crazy.
Shut up. You didn't even mean to
riding.
do it.
I am the LeBron.
I'm still riding the
I am.
Warriors bandwagon until the day they aren't in the fucking picture anymore. I don't give a fuck. You have Curry, Clay, Dre.
I called it.
They just won a championship. They
Andrew
could fucking
Wiggins.
turn it around. Fuck Andrew Wiggins.
The one thing is just like you have Curry out.
What did Andrew Wiggins do?
I love Jordan Poole.
You have Curry out for another extended period of time. You're sitting at 9 in the West right now. Like, what if you miss the play-in altogether?
Yes,
I
I
doubt
agree.
that happens. Doubt it happens. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Lakers are going to get in there.
You need Jordan Poole to really step up. You really need him to not be inefficient like he's been a lot of the season. I know he's turned it up over the past whatever it is month, but he's got to be better.
Yeah, Deadpool said in the chat that GP2 was super happy to be back on the Warriors. I can assume that he was perfect there. And then he said he never wanted to be on the Blazers. But here's the thing: this shows go get your money. Go get your money. Don't take less for a team. If they really want you that bad, they'll find you. They'll get back to you and all that stuff. Go get your money. Secure yourself. Don't take
It also
less.
saves Golden State, like over the next few years, moving Wiseman and getting GP back, and then the way his contract scales,
Yes.
it's going to save them. I think it's $8 million this year, and then $26 million next year.
Yes, it is.
So people are going to, and that's all I want to make a point of that is just, I think people are going to look at this and go, you paid 5 second-round picks for a guy you could have re-signed, that he wasn't going to get re-signed because they could not re-sign him. The money just wasn't going to work. And for them to get him back, granted, he is costing more money, but for them to not be a luxury tax repeater, this is a really, really important, which they are anyway, but this is a really, really important deal for them because of the money they are going to save. So that's why people are going to overreact.
For sure. Okay, so this is a quick one. The Pelicans traded for Josh Richardson, and the final details were the Spurs getting Devontae Graham and 4 second-round picks. Everyone was throwing second-round picks around like they were absolutely nothing. So Josh Richardson is now a Pelican, which deepens an an incredibly deep rotation even more. He's another wing defender, can hit the 3. I think he fits incredibly well next to the best 2 players, the 2 top players on their team, and Brandon Ingram and Zion. And I mean, a good trade for the Pels, I think. I personally, if you trade a bunch of second-round picks, I don't care if you give up 20 of them. I don't think they're worth that much if you're in a title chase. So
Agreed. I think it was a good trade for the Pelicans. I thought the Spurs could have gone like
maybe a protected first.
Yeah, but like 4 seconds is cool too.
Any other year, Josh Richardson is not worth 4 seconds. Just to be clear, I just think that's crazy for whether they're worth something or not. I think any other year he's worth 2 second-round picks. Doesn't matter.
I felt like maybe there was a chance that he could have gone for a heavily protected first-round pick, if I'm being completely honest. I just think the 3-and-D wings, especially for contenders, I think they just pay up for them. I just think they pay up for them. I'm surprised more weren't moved this deadline.
Seconds?
No.
Protected first.
Protected first.
I was about to say.
Protected first. But yeah, Deadpool put it in the chat earlier, and he said he was saying how he was surprised that more 3-and-D wings weren't moved during this deadline. And honestly, I thought the exact same thing. There weren't enough getting moved, in my opinion. Any thoughts on Josh Richardson, real quick, going to the Pelicans? Anybody?
No.
Or do we not?
W trade doesn't
Yeah.
change anything. I think for the Pelicans, I think if you're a team who says their intention is to win games, then you had to have been in on this deadline. And I think we're going to talk about it once we're done going through the trades, the teams that weren't in on this deadline. So
we absolutely
I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so do we even want to talk? I mean, the Celtics added a good big man,
piece.
like some good big man
Yes.
depth here in Mike Muscala for Justin Jackson and 2 future seconds. I think Muscala was a really good fit for the Celtics. I mean, he could play next to both of the big mans, and if you could play him by himself too in some 5-out lineups. So they have the defensive versatility to be able to cover up a little bit for his lack on that side of the ball. So I thought it was a good trade.
Yeah.
They needed a big man, and they got him.
And the
Right.
Thunder Sphere thing, they got more picks again, like they always do.
Agreed.
He was cooking Anthony Davis on Tuesday in the record-breaking game. Mike
Yes, he
Muscala was cooking AD. I was like, oh man, here we go.
Apparently, AD was sick. He didn't look like he was.
Yeah.
He was too interested in that game, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. But regardless, he was cooking it.
Deadpool said Muscala's defense stinks and he doesn't rebound at all. But that's
But
not
he
what
can
they need him
shoot.
to do. He could shoot the shit out the ball, though. That's the thing.
His rim finishing's like really good this year too. It's like
Yes,
unbelievably good.
his offensive game this year has been incredible for them, honestly. Part of that is definitely to do with Shea, but like they also have some solid playmakers with the Celtics. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Okay, so speaking of the devil, Eric Gordon
The
before.
devil.
Eric Gordon and 3 future second-round picks to the Clippers. We were talking about him before. Why you gotta make it like that? And then the Rockets received John Wall, Danny Green, and a protected pick swap from the Clippers. I'm assuming both John Wall and Danny Green are going to get bought out. And then the Grizzlies received Luke Kennard. There's going to be so many really good players on the buyout market, by the way, which
Fuck
is
the
going to be
Clippers, man.
incredible.
I feel bad for John Wall. He was in an interview like last week or something, and he was just explaining how terrible it was to be in Houston. The Clippers are just like, yeah, see you go
Bro,
back.
he's not even going to the office, bro. He's in some apartment somewhere
He's
waiting
home.
to get bought out.
He's home.
Yeah.
He's getting
Chilling.
bought out. Yeah, he's home.
He might not even left LA. He might still be in LA.
Now.
I can just imagine how pissed off he was when he heard that he was getting traded back to the Rockets.
Nah, bro. His agent softened it. He was like, listen. I know what you're about to say. He's like, all right, bro, we getting that bag, we getting out of here. Like we got it.
I was about to say, like, I don't think John's honestly that mad because he's just
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
get paid.
I wonder
he's
where he's
get
gonna
the
go,
bag
though.
right now. He's getting his bag right now, and then he's going
I
somewhere
haven't
else.
been
A
paying
team's gonna
too
pick him
much-
up.
I haven't
wonder.
been paying too much attention to John Wall this year. How has he been?
Eh.
He's
No,
He started the
great.
year well. He
But,
started
like,
the year
it-
well, but it's been downhill ever
The
since.
team's gonna pick
Yeah.
him up though, based off his potential of what
he'll
he
be
could be
a
in the
decent
playoffs.
change
You
of
know?
Miami
pace,
Heat.
but yes,
Yeah,
that could make
that's-
a lot of sense. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
I like that.
I don't hate that at all. The Grizzlies obviously got Luke Kennard in this case, and then the Clippers getting Eric Gordon. So I think both of those
Good
teams
trade for everyone.
did pretty
Yeah.
well on
Love
that
it for
side.
the Grizzlies.
Love it. Yeah, I was about
Love
to say
it for
They
Luke
definitely
Kennard's a great
needed the
shooter.
shooting, and he's one of the
Yeah.
best in the league.
Exactly. It's
So
perfect.
Eric Gordon kind of just fits better, I guess, than Luke Kennard in this case. I mean, he could do.
Plus, you get the
Luke-
3 seconds. you
Luke
know?
Kennard never really got the opportunity to show what he really can do. I think he's a very capable pick and roll ball handler as well as being such an elite shooter. I think there's more to Luke Kennard than people really realize. But Eric Gordon, of course, gives them, I guess, an equal, if not better, offensively because he can also drive and
Yeah,
gets
he can put the ball on the
he can
floor.
put the ball on the floor as well. I mean, so yeah, it's interesting. I thought it was a win all around, and yes, 3 future second round picks for that.
Danny
So,
Green played like 2 games.
yeah,
for the
poor Danny
Grizzlies.
Green, bro.
And they said,
Can't wait for him
"See
to
ya."
get bought out and be on a contender again.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's balling once he gets somewhere else.
Mhm.
Okay, so here we go. 4
Oh,
team
here it
trade.
is.
Here we go.
Let's go.
We finally get to talk about our guys.
Let's go.
Okay, so the 76ers acquired Jaden McDaniels. Essentially, that's the main portion of this trade.
Jalen.
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 I said,
Yep.
oh, did I say Jaden?
Yes, sir.
Yep, happens all the time.
Apologies. I know the difference between the two, but but yeah. So the 76ers get Jalen McDaniels and 2 second-round picks. The Hornets get Svi Mikhailuk, who gets traded everywhere, and 2 second-round picks. The Trailblazers get Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, and Ryan Arcidiacono and a 23 first-round pick from us, which I think was lottery protected. And then it turns into 4 second-round picks if it doesn't convey. And then the Knicks get
Yeah.
Josh Hart.
Woohoo!
So
let's go.
Where do we want to start on this one?
we could start with the Sixers. Jalen
Sure.
McDaniels.
Great pickup.
Great pickup.
Yeah.
Great pickup, in my opinion. So he's a better off. I mean, it's not hard to be a better shooter
For
than
Matisse,
Matisse
yeah.
Thybulle.
No.
Yeah.
Jalen isn't exactly a good shooter, but he's far better than Matisse.
Took the words out of my mouth.
I think I'm a better shooter than Matisse. I have to be. Right?
Dean, I don't think so, buddy.
Are you
I'm
serious?
gonna be completely honest with
Didn't
you.
y'all lose your didn't y'all lose your
I-
championship game by like 40 or
Wait,
something?
are you being like dead ass?
Nah, he's an NBA player. He's probably
Okay.
better.
Okay. Cool. I'm just making.
Didn't y'all lose your what'd you shoot in that championship game? Y'all lost by 40 or something. Chris was telling me.
No,
that.
we won the championship.
I thought you lost by
1-3, but the buzzer already buzzed, so it didn't count.
wow.
Made it though.
We actually
I'm
won
tro-
our
I'm
tag
trolling.
championship. We're 1-1 in championships, bro. Our
Yeah.
legacy's being made.
Yeah.
So
But I retired.
Better
after
win
that season.
percent than LeBron.
I retired as well. Yeah, me and Dean retired from ball. But yeah. So Jalen McDaniels.
Jalen.
I said Jalen. I swear to God, I said Jalen.
Okay.
What do you mean? I said Jalen. I literally read it. I could read, but Jalen McDaniels. Oh my God. Obviously a Sixer now. Great pickup, as we said. Svi Mikhailuk, elite pickup by the Hornets.
Whatever.
Great job.
He doesn't matter.
I think he got waived. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even think he's on the team anymore. Okay, Trailblazers
So,
side of
all right.
Finally, Cam gets
Well,
to fucking
I
play.
Do
think-
you have thoughts on Jalen? Obviously,
Yeah, I
by the
think
way.
it's a huge pickup for the 76ers. I think he's a guy who it's going to be the opposite of some other guys I said where people are going to realize it wasn't as big of a pickup. I think this is the complete opposite. This is a huge pickup for the 76ers. He just offers so much more versatility in terms of just being an actual basketball player than Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah.
I think it's really huge for them. It's just going to make his life easier playing next to guys like James Harden and Joel Embiid, who only create more open shots for you. Obviously, LaMelo was creating open shots, but it's different with James
Absolutely.
Harden
The
and
gravity
Joel
of
Embiid.
those two, yeah, especially
So
the
he's
pick
just
and
going to
roll.
get higher quality looks, and he's a more than capable defender.
Yes, he's a good defender at that. Yeah. So, I mean, do you have any thoughts on
the
Jalen
Hornets
McDaniels, Trev?
sold.
I just don't understand.
I
The
agree.
Hornets want second round picks. They want 1,000 second round picks. That's okay.
He's
But-
also due a contract. So,
Yeah, well, here's
about
the only thing that I took away from this trade, other than I think it's a good pickup for the Sixers. I'm not going to overreact to it, but is the Trailblazers future and confusion. Like, there's a reason teams were inquiring about Damian Lillard. Like, they're sitting here making these moves that you're like, oh yeah, you do want to win, really? So you got rid of a Josh Hart win now type player for a guy like Cam Reddish, who we have no idea right now what he can do.
They got
but
back
Matisse
4 guys
Thybulle-
that don't play.
Yeah,
That's
essentially.
fucking
And they
huge.
got rid of a guy that's going to play meaningful minutes for New York. I'm talking 20 to 28 minutes, meaningful minutes for New
no,
York.
no. With
Right.
Tom
Oh,
Thibodeau,
he's
he's
gonna be-
playing 38, 40.
Oh, yeah, you're
Thibodeau
right.
loves him.
He's playing
Whatever
40.
meaningful minutes means to Tom Thibodeau, but that's you give up a guy that has been an unbelievable player for Portland. Honestly, one of the best stretches of his career, and you give him up for, I get taking a chance on Cam Reddish and getting a first round pick that'll convey into 4 seconds. Great transactionally, but
Yes.
you're selling me one thing, Portland, and then you're doing another. I just don't understand the direction of this franchise. I'm so fed up with them, and I just want them to just blow it up and give Dame what he deserves. A place that does not want to lie to the public and fans, and like, yeah, we're gonna build around Cam Reddish and Damian Lillard and Jeremy Grant. Like, what? It's dumb. It makes
Build
no
around
sense to
Cam
me.
Reddish is wild.
We talked about this, right? When we were
Yeah.
comparing
It's
Dame
du-
and
it's
Dame
stupid.
Kyrie.
I agree. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's all I have.
You have certain thoughts on Damian Lillard and the whole.
I said the same. That's what he just said. I think Damian Lillard
Deserves better.
should have left. He deserves better, and also he as a person just should have left. You're
Yep.
playing basketball. The goal is to win.
That was my
You're talking about. We agreed on it. It was a shared point.
I'm sorry.
There's literally a
Dean also
TikTok of,
deserves
like,
credit for this.
Nah, fuck you.
I said Dame's running from the grind from saying he's not running from the grind. He's.
I just remembered Chris responding to me on TikTok, and he said Dame's fooling us. He's
He
not
is.
actually about the grind. He's running from it.
It's just like all the I get the principle of, oh, I want to win in Portland. I'm not gonna switch teams like these other dudes. But like that's how today's NBA is. You know, it's a sad case, but there's some organizations that just aren't good, and the Portland Trailblazers are one of them. Like, that's just how it is. They haven't been good. They
Every-
haven't been run well.
Every couple of
organizationally.
decades, they get this guy that they just don't know what to do with properly, championship wise, and it's really frustrating. If I'm a Blazers fan, I mean, talking about running from the grind, I'm running away from Portland. Like, I think this is stupid, and he deserves better. It's enough.
I agree. But lastly, our Knicks. Dean, what do you think about Josh Hart coming to New York?
I thought it was a good move, but I thought it was gonna be the first
Of
move.
many?
Yeah.
Not even of many.
multiple?
Yeah, of multiple.
At least
And then
two.
ended up being the only move. And
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it, but I think the Knicks were gonna try. Obviously, there was reports that the Knicks were trying to get Zach Levine,
Yeah.
which I would have been more than
I would've
okay with.
loved
I
it.
think that the Knicks have been on the verge of getting that one guy, and they haven't really pulled the trigger. They've been a little hesitant on doing it. What the team that they have now, there's a cap. But if you add, maybe, I don't know if you want to call Zach Levine a star, but
Like
if you
an
add a
all-star.
star,
He's an
Star.
all-star.
He's a
in-
star. He's a star.
in Zach Levine, I think that changes the dynamic of the team. It takes
Mhm.
takes the offense to a new level. Jalen Brunson doesn't have to carry the team. Jalen Brunson doesn't have to give you 30 to win a fucking basketball game. Julius Randle also doesn't show up in the fourth quarter. Zach Levine has been proven that he can hit big shots. I know you disagree with that. He does make some boneheaded mistakes. He does have sometimes bad shot selection.
Yeah.
But he does have a solid track record.
He is a great.
Look.
I'm a fan of the team he plays for. This season, sure, down the stretch of games, he's made some plays
Yes.
that ended up on SportsCenter. The Wizards thing is obviously the one that sticks out, but Zach Levine is a clutch shot taker and a clutch shot maker. Like, let's not get that twisted. you know?
Okay. Look, I didn't hate the fact that the Knicks were going to potentially. First of all, let me talk about Josh Hart.
Yeah.
I fucking
Yeah.
love Josh Hart, the basketball
I
player.
love Josh Hart.
I think he fits perfectly with the Knicks. No, he's having the worst shooting season of his career, and I feel like the thought of Josh Hart, the 3-point shooter, is far better than Josh Hart,
I think it's
the actual 3-point shooter.
it's okay depending on how we use him.
Bro, he
which,
passes them
which
up
lineup.
far too
I know.
often.
It depends who he's on the court with. Like, depends if Evan's back in the lineup.
So Evan needs to be back in the rotation,
Yeah.
if I'm being completely honest. I hate to say it. I was
I agree.
super happy to be
Yeah.
watching Evan just light it up
Yeah.
a couple nights ago. That was great
That was
to
good.
watch.
Then he hit the
Um,
side of the backboard.
Yes,
on a heat check.
he did.
But
he pulled the ball.
it's
game.
okay.
And the
He
funny,
shouted us out.
but the
Yeah.
best part was the man straight up said after the game, this was like a fun one night stand. He
Yes.
knew damn well
Yes.
Tom was not putting his ass back in the fucking rotation.
Yeah, it
But-
sucks.
Evan deserves to be in an NBA rotation, and especially with the Knicks, because we
He has
need
a
the
spot.
microwave scoring.
Yeah,
We need the 3-point shooting. We need a guy that's just going to fire away from three because him and Quentin Grimes are honestly
like-
the only two high volume good 3-point shooters on the Knicks right
And
now.
again, I love the trade. Us needing that microwave scorer off the bench is why I hate that we didn't give Cam Reddish more of a chance than he had. Like I know he had a
He's
chance,
not good at
but
basketball.
he had some games where he showed out. You know, I wish
bro.
like,
Once he
where
stepped-
we were at, I
once he
knew we were
stopped
trading
playing,
him.
we played so much better, and we've continued to play better
I
without
know.
Cam Reddish on the floor.
I knew we were trading him, so that's why like I wasn't upset about it. I love what we got for him, but I wish we gave him a little more time to try to prove
If you
himself.
couldn't tell, Trevor, the three of us are Knicks
Are
fans.
Knicks fans,
Chris
yes,
is a
we are
Bulls
Knicks
fan.
fans.
What
Yeah.
team are you?
I'm a
fan?
closet Knicks fan because my first ever game was in Madison Square
Okay,
Garden.
awesome.
Go.
What's
I
your-
also have
your-
an NBA bucket list to visit every NBA arena, and I think it's really fitting that was the first one.
That's dope.
It was against the then Houston Rockets, James Harden. It was also like 3 or 4 days before COVID shut down everything, which was
Was
kind
it
of
the
wild.
60-point triple-double?
No, I mean it wasn't anything like that.
Was that in Houston? Or was that in?
Yeah, I think that was in Houston, I think. But either way, it was just unbelievable to watch him play and just be in that venue. I'm a Lakers fan, as you can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yep,
Right.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
I think in terms of Josh Hart, it's cool. Josh Hart's never a guy that's going to hurt your team for the most part. He's only going to help.
Yeah.
But essentially, you traded Kevin Knox and a first-round pick for Cam Reddish. And then you traded Cam Reddish and a first-round pick for Josh Hart.
Yeah.
So you traded 2 first-round picks for Josh Hart when we saw so many rotational guys on the trade deadline be moved for second-round picks.
To be fair, he is better than a lot of the rotation guys that were getting moved,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
I agree.
I
Like,
think the idea of Josh Hart's you said it. The idea of Josh Hart's better than Josh Hart.
I
I
think the idea of his 3-point shooting is better than him. I think Josh Hart, the player, is very impactful in every other facet of the game. He's an elite finisher at the rim. He's an elite rebounder at wherever he plays on the floor, honestly, for that matter. He's a great defender, both as a communicator and an on-ball defender. I mean, aside from shooting at this point, and Josh Hart used to be a good shooter, or at least a decent one. I don't know where that went. But aside from that, he's really
know,
good at the
great
sport in every
defender,
other way.
He's a great teammate too. I mean, the fact that your star point guard was that excited, granted they were
Yep.
college teammates, that was a huge piece for me. Like I think that's an unbelievable pickup. Whether Tibbs gives 2 damns about it, whatever. But I hope that he does not tarnish that relationship by not playing.
No,
him, not
I
getting
think
him.
Josh Hart's skill set and what he is good at and what he brings to the table. I said it to Ortiz last night. The way RJ Barrett's playing, like I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if Josh Hart takes his starting
I
spot.
wouldn't be surprised either, if I'm being completely honest
Well,
with you.
Okay, so I thought the move would have been
Tibbs is
better
gonna
with a
love him.
second move
Yes, he's a Tibbs guy.
with a
He's
complimentary
100%.
trade. Do you know what I'm saying? An offensive player to offset the offense that Josh Hart doesn't give you, and the move
He gives
alone.
you offense.
I think
It's-
the move by itself is okay, and that's it. Only okay, considering that you did give up what ends up being 2 first-round picks for him. So it's a okay to less than okay move, considering you didn't do anything else.
Hey, and Ryan Archie
Struck out on Zach LaVine.
and Svi Mikhailu.
We had the potential to build a big 3 right there.
I just-
Villanova big 3.
I just think the
And we
Knicks
just
could have done a
threw
lot
it
more.
away.
We could have
They
got
have-
Archie together with Jalen and fucking
Fuck
Josh. man.
Ryan. They don't matter, bro. Fuck those guys.
Come on.
They had more than enough picks to do something. They have I think a plethora of solid young role players is what they are, is what we were arguing yesterday. I know you, yeah.
No, yeah, we do.
So we were talking in our group chat yesterday, and Matt was bringing up how Tibbs should play the young guys and whatever, and trade Julius, and I just don't agree
Very
with that.
much think
Well,
so.
So I said my answer to that was I think
But where can Julius go?
right
Nowhere.
the trade Julius Randle thing is done.
No, I know
this
that.
guy's having his you could
Second
really
best
make
year.
an argument he's having his second All NBA season in the past
Mhm.
third
3
year,
years,
3
yeah.
years. So he's balling. He's not getting traded, and you want to play these young guys and build through the young guys. None of those guys are Julius Randle. Respectfully, Julius Randle isn't this all-time great, but none of those guys are amounting to what Julius Randle is.
None of them are all stars.
I don't disagree
and you
with
just
that.
signed Jalen Brunson, so you're obviously trying to win. If you sign
I-
Jalen Brunson, you trade for Josh Hart. You're trying to win. So you're trading all of that, because if you trade Julius Randle, you have to trade Jalen Brunson too. You're not keeping Jalen Brunson around for a
Right.
rebuild. That's not why you signed
No,
him.
I agree. I'll just put it like this. I think only because of the fact that Julius Randle's game is far less malleable than I would prefer for one of my better players.
We're in
In
Your
a
best
way.
player right now.
We're in
Yes.
too deep.
Yes, exactly. I don't hate Julius Randle.
No, you do. You do.
You do.
I don't.
Just
Look,
say
Getting
you
that
hate
vibe.
it. It's okay.
It's just
You,
the
you
fact,
act like it every day. Just
bro.
say it.
It's just the fact that, like I just said, he's not incredibly malleable to the people around him. You have to build around a Julius Randle when he's not good enough
But
to be built around.
that's why I think you trade for a guy like Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, you want to talk
Bingo.
about malleable. So if the package was Quentin Grimes and 3 first-round picks, yeah, it stinks to give up Quentin Grimes, but you're getting Zach LaVine, who you plug him in anywhere, he's going to be a 20-point per game scorer, and for the most part, he's going to do that on good efficiency. He's a guy who makes me look at Zach LaVine isn't the superstar, but he's an all-star level talent who, like I just said, fits anywhere efficiently. He makes me look at it. You get Zach LaVine, I look at the Knicks differently.
You also, it's funny that you guys, 3 of you are Knicks fans versus 1 Bulls fan having a conversation
Yeah.
about a
Yeah,
trade
yeah,
between
yeah.
your 2 teams. So regardless of what your fandom thinks about it, Julius Randle's a 25, 11, and 4 guy, like Chris said, second best season of his NBA career. Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you that the fit and the style is really, really rough. But I think people are underrating how bad Coach Tibbs is for this team. Whether it's playing the young guys or whether it's the style and fit of the offense, Julius Randle, I think, could be more versatile. I mean, he's a 33% 3-point shooter. That's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not taking them either. So imagine what he could do if he started to get the potential to develop in that spot. And also understanding that, Zach LaVine's going to fit next to anyone. I don't care what anyone says. He can shoot and he can play with the ball, without the ball. It doesn't matter. But, you're having a guy like Julius Randle and you're having a bunch of old guys playing around him. I say old guys. They're just not playing the young guys as much as they should. And they're 7th in the East in a tough Eastern Conference. They're 30-26. That's nothing to not write home about. And I think one of you said it earlier, the Josh Hart deal. Understanding that they didn't make a move and overreact and go get Zach LaVine, I think that's okay. I think the Knicks have made too many mistakes in the last decade to sit here and go, yeah, we're going to go get that guy and we're going to go do this and we're going to get Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Sometimes doing this past draft, everyone thought they were going to make all these moves and draft all these guys. And it's you know what? Sometimes doing less is sometimes doing more. They're going to make the play. They're probably not going to make the play in. They're probably going to be a top 6 seed in the East when it's all said and done. I think Miami drops a little bit. It depends on how Atlanta goes up. Obviously, the Bulls, we don't know what we're going to get day to day. Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn will fall out because they're 33-22. So there's a chance that they get a 5 or a 6 seed. And that means they don't have to worry about being a playing team. They're a capable playoff team.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the goal, is just to make the playoffs.
I agree.
I
You know what I mean? So we're not gonna. We're good enough to where we're not gonna draft our guy.
Yeah,
Of course
I
there's
thought
the-
that if we traded for Zach right now, say like you said, Grimes and 3 firsts, we still would have RJ Barrett and say eventually
RJ
someone
Barrett.
ass out of somewhere.
Fucking
We
RJ
trade
Barrett.
RJ. I love
It's
RJ
maybe
Barrett,
made.
but we
You
trade
wanted
RJ
to.
Barrett. We
I
trade the rest of the picks we have. We can still have Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Zach LaVine, and then all that other stuff we have. Trade him for another star, and have 4 guys.
Great.
We
We
would
don't.
have-
We don't even have Zach LaVine, so it doesn't.
I'm
No,
Even
I'm
sorry, but
saying
I would have
if we
traded.
did.
I would have traded RJ Barrett instead of Quentin Grimes in that deal for
I
LaVine.
completely agree. That's what I said yesterday. Exactly what I said yesterday.
I would have disagreed earlier in the season, but I agree right now.
Well,
I
just for
said
the simple
I
fact
love you
that
for saying that. Thank
you're
you.
trading Zach LaVine, a guy who does need to get the ball in his hands, and RJ Barrett's a guy who is also effective when the ball is in his hands. Quentin Grimes is effective off the ball. So yeah, I agree with that. I'm not with you where I think Quentin Grimes' ceiling is higher than RJ Barrett.
No.
I'm an RJ Barrett hater, supposedly, but I don't think Quentin Grimes will ever be a better NBA player than RJ Barrett. But just in terms of fit, yeah, I would have rather moved RJ Barrett in that deal.
That's why I was going to say, it's not that I'm saying Quentin Grimes is a higher ceiling than RJ Barrett. I'm saying that Quentin Grimes just fits as an NBA player better than an RJ Barrett in any given place, because Quentin Grimes is so capable of shooting the 3, because he can defend 1 through 3 at a very high level. So I want to keep Quentin Grimes at all costs, because he's that type of role player that every team wants, but not every team has. So, and especially because he's one of the best in the league, by the way, at attacking closeouts. He's getting to one of those upper echelon players in terms of attacking closeouts. So there is more to Quentin Grimes' game than meets the eye at first. But yes, I do think trading RJ Barrett for Zach would have been perfect. I would have loved that. And then obviously you already got Josh Hart, and Josh Hart would have started next to Zach LaVine, and brought that defensive versatility. So I don't know. It's tough. Of course, I would have liked to have Zach, but for the
No,
right
you
package.
didn't.
For the right
didn't.
package.
You
Because
didn't
I didn't want him for
Zach LaVine.
You
You
didn't
said
want him at all.
want him.
You're,
I didn't
like,
want him
You
for
said you wouldn't be a
Quentin
fan
Grimes.
anymore.
I didn't want him.
You
for
did
Quentin-
say that. You said, "Yo,
Yes.
I'm gonna be a Nuggets fan."
I was pissed. I was pissed. I didn't want him for Quentin Grimes, fucking Obi Toppin, and 3 first-round picks. I didn't want him for that because
wasn't
that's
gonna
an
be the
overpay.
trade, bro.
That's an overpay.
That wasn't
And
gonna
I
be it.
didn't want that.
Bro, someone
I-
tweeted that on Twitter.
If we traded
Someone threw it out of
RJ, if
their
we traded
ass.
RJ Barrett for fucking Zach LaVine, I would have been all in.
You
no
weren't trading,
disrespect to RJ.
but that was never happening. Zach LaVine for RJ Barrett's trade up was never happening. That was never on.
No,
the
I know. I'm just
table.
putting that out there though.
It
I'm
doesn't
just saying.
matter because
It would have
that's
included picks to make that work either way.
right.
Yeah, of course. I would have been cool with giving up a pick or two if they needed to for Zach LaVine. I would have been okay with that. I don't think RJ is. I'm sorry, bro. I'm almost out of this RJ Barrett thing.
I've
almost
been
all
out,
of it.
But I just don't understand how your energy is okay. I'd trade RJ Barrett for Zach LaVine, but I won't trade Quentin Grimes. Because I won't trade Quentin Grimes because we need to trade Julius Randle and build through the young guys. But I would trade RJ Barrett for Zach LaVine.
Because
You're losing me there.
Because if we are to trade for Zach LaVine, that's clearly saying that we're going to be making that win now move. And therefore, I'm okay with trading a guy like RJ because we are making that win now move. And that's the only reason I'm saying
So
that.
in any win now move, you wouldn't be okay with trading Quentin Grimes? He has to stay forever?
Not for Zach. Not for Zach along with 3 first-round picks. If we're talking about a better player, yes. But RJ Barrett doesn't fit as well next to a guy like
No,
Zach.
I
know
just
that.
want to know
Which is why I'm saying that.
who's the star you're waiting for.
I agree with that point, and I agree with Trevor's point earlier. I don't think this is the end of the world for the Knicks for missing out on a guy like
agree.
Zach LaVine. But I do also think they should have been trying to make this deal happen.
I think they were.
Because, like you said, as Knicks fans, we all know how Knicks fans are. You guys are sitting right next to me, so Knicks fans want to see winning basketball. They're not okay with just making the playoffs. The Knicks want to do something.
And I think
for
they have the pieces, and they have the second and third best players of what could be a championship roster. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle could be second and third best players.
and great complementary pieces.
Great complementary pieces. They have draft picks. They just need to put it together and find their guy, and it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree.
We'll go to the other side of that though. The team that was offering for
The
Zach
Chicago
LaVine.
motherfucking Bulls.
I'm so upset.
Y'all suck. It's that simple.
It's embarrassing almost. It's actually embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you, actually.
All right,
I'm sorry, Chris.
it's over.
I'm
So,
not.
I knew Zach LaVine was. I did get excited. I was really excited. I would have been so down to trade Zach LaVine for Quentin Grimes and 3 first-round picks.
Exactly.
I would have been so down for even RJ Barrett. I would have became an RJ Barrett fan. we trade Zach LaVine for RJ Barrett and 2 first-round picks. I'm so behind that, but it didn't happen, and I kind of predicted that wouldn't happen. I predicted LaVine, Vucevic, and what's the other guy? DeRozan. DeRozan. Can't forget about him. 33-year-old would still be there. But I expected us to make some type of move. And, this was a deadline where every team essentially made a move besides the Chicago Bulls. They just,
And one other team.
for some reason, they
Two other
trust,
teams.
they trust
Oh,
what
yeah, yeah.
they trust what they have going on. And it baffles my mind. It baffles my fucking mind.
I'm bamboozled.
This guy, AK,
Hoodwinked,
went to his
bamboozled.
went to his press conference and said, "We're not okay with mediocrity." But what do you mean you're not okay with mediocrity?
You're okay with ass.
This is mediocrity.
They are the
mediocrity.
literal definition of mid right now.
Yes.
Literally, and I'm reading that tweet as I'm watching us shoot
9 steals.
3 for 20 from behind the 3-point line against the G League Brooklyn Nets. But we're not
Oh
okay
my
with
God.
mediocrity. You're gonna with all the players that were moved for 2nd-round picks this deadline. You're gonna tell me that there wasn't one trade you could have done that you thought improves this roster. And I know the Bulls are not going to be this playoff juggernaut. They're not going to do anything in the playoffs, no matter what little move they made. But you're going to tell me there wasn't one little move that you could find that fans would have been like, wow, this move helps the Bulls? Nothing? You couldn't find anything?
With how many?
So-
with 60 players being moved, you couldn't find one spot.
And then we're gonna sign Russell Westbrook. That's what we're gonna do.
to add
It-
even
I
less
mean,
shooting.
come on.
What it tells me is that I think they're uncertain about what they want to do. And I think this offseason, they kind of took the Raptors route and they were like, yes, the Raptors brought in Jakob Poeltl, whatever, but they're going to have to make a decision. And I'm kind of glad that they didn't just full out sell out at the deadline. I understand. Like, I think they should just tear it down because Lonzo Ball's health is too much now. If that's going to be a guy you're supposed to build a championship contender around, I think it's to the point where I know Bulls fans have been through a lot. Sorry, Chris, over the last couple of years, but I think it's okay to just like completely like start this over and figure this out because I think that's the best position they need to be in, even though they do have some capable veterans. Obviously, the money's going to have to work and you have to figure out where they go. But I just have seen enough now that like, obviously I just don't think the front office understands what they want to do yet, or doesn't like really have a direction, and that's what we have to figure out. Very similar to Charlotte. Charlotte thinks they can contend with Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward. They've clearly said that out loud. That is what has happened when they do very little communicate to the public, and it's just unfortunate to see.
I
agree.
I have a question about the Knicks. I hate to do it to y'all, but I do want to ask in case this. I know Chris, let it out. This is a safe space. Get it out. But I want to
get it out and then
anything else about
I
this?
agree with you that they, I'm happy that we didn't just sell everything because I think in the offseason with time to think about it, you could really evaluate what the value is for all of these players.
Correct.
And you could just sell everything all together. But so I'm okay with not doing the Zach LaVine to the Knicks trade, but I'm not okay with the management coming out and saying we're not okay with mediocrity. We want to win, and then not making a single move at this deadline to at least show you're trying.
At this point, you should try to get Westbrook just to do something.
Try it.
And
No.
try it out.
Bro, I can't.
Just
I
to try
can't
to be the
anymore
worst
this
NBA
year.
team ever. Yeah, no, me too.
Bro, I'm
No,
already.
I think he's right though. Unless you're trolling, like I think Russell
No, I'm
Westbrook at least
serious.
just give it a shot because you're
Yeah.
not going to pay him
No.
after this year anyway.
I can't.
Exactly. I feel like just
It's
to
a-
say you tried something
It's
new.
just already so brutal watching the games
the
this
fit
year
is
that
disgusting.
It is,
that
but
Westbrook, bro, I can't. I watch enough Westbrook with the Lakers. Love what Russell Westbrook, but it was not fun to watch.
He'd be playing a
Shame.
completely different role though. The role would be completely different. He would be the lead ball handler. I would assume he's not your lead ball handler right now. He should be, but he will be.
On
So.
the topic of Russ, I do personally think if he does end up with the Clippers, it's a great situation for him.
oh yeah,
Like a
I think he's gonna go there.
phenomenal situation for him if that's where he
Probably,
ends up.
I'm
They're
guessing that's where he's
shooting
gonna go.
all around him, so maybe it makes him a better player. And then obviously he's going to be highly motivated, I would have to assume. And if he just plays the role of a floor general, getting Kawhi and PG into the best looks possible for them, I don't know, man. I think Russ can maybe prove a lot of people wrong in that other side of the Staples Center. So
Agreed.
It's a shame that we're
Dean-
watching probably the tail end of DeMar DeRozan's effectiveness just going to shit in Chicago. You know what I mean?
yeah, it
Kinda
is.
sad
It
to
is
see.
rough.
Dean, you mentioned earlier about what the Knicks like. Oh, we're just not going to draft that guy or whatever. Who's the guy that they're always looking for? One of you said that, I think. So the 2023 free agency was supposed to be this kind of crazy place, and then some things started happening and guys were re-signed. After you look at it and really figure out who's realistic, the only guy that kind of comes to mind, and I don't want this to just blow up, but like Russell Westbrook is a pending free agent, but obviously we'll know what may happen there. Chris Middleton is probably going to get re-signed. Kyrie Irving, assuming he goes back to Dallas on a 4-year deal. I don't want to put you guys through that. Kristaps Porzingis,
put myself through that.
yeah, Kristaps Porzingis doesn't make any sense. Kevin Love is past his prime. You're talking about the reason I'm bringing this up is you're talking about a capable who's going to be the best guy with Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson being 2 and 3, right? If that's the direction, the only guy that makes sense on this list is James Harden.
See, I would
Makes
be so down for that.
I would.
I
too.
think
down for
I'm
that.
in.
and
I'm in.
honestly, you said someone else that you said doesn't make any sense. Honestly, I feel like if we brought Kristaps back, for
No.
the right price,
You're
you're
just-
just
no.
You think it with your heart, bro.
It's
You think
not
it with your
happening.
heart.
You are
I think
using
he.
your heart.
I feel like he fits the team.
fit
kinda.
Reputational
We have
risk.
Mitch. We have. What do you mean?
No, obviously, would move on from Mitch. I'm saying like
You
if we
should have
trade
moved on
Why
from
are you
Mitch
moving
2
on
years
from
ago, but yeah.
Mitch is playing so well this season.
Yes,
But Porzingis
but
is
he's-
better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Time out.
But you don't
I
need to go
will
out and
say,
get
in terms
Porzingis.
of fit, if Mitchell Robinson is no longer in the picture,
he fits.
Mitchell Robinson gets hurt a lot too. Let's not
Yeah,
forget that.
that's what I'm
Period.
He's
Yes.
hurt right now.
Kristaps
Yes.
is
He
about
broke
as
his hand.
good of a fit as you could put next to Julius
That's
Randle.
exactly what.
Which I
exactly.
would
Yeah, but
be
but if we're
perfectly
talking
okay
about
with.
best
why I
championship
said it.
player, if we're talking about number one,
Championship
Julius
player, yeah.
Randle's 2 and 3, if that's the scenario, there's no guy that makes
James
sense.
Harden.
None of these
Yeah.
guys are ones. Gary Trent Jr., Karis LeVert, Bogdanovich, Jeremy Grant, Harrison Barnes. These are all free agents that make no sense for the Knicks because they're not. If the thought process is Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, whoever's 2-3, it doesn't matter. You need a guy that can win you a championship. And we've seen, based on the pieces around James Harden in the past, hey, he can be a number one on a championship contending team. They didn't win it. I get that. They ran into one of the best teams of all time. But James Harden's the only guy on this list. Chris Middleton's not doing that for you. James Harden will.
I would
think
love James Harden.
I think that his window of being the best player on a championship team is now closed, in my personal opinion.
I feel like
James
We have
Harden.
no idea,
It's
though, because
not-
he's playing behind the number one guy in Philly.
Yeah, yes, but I also think it's because there's so much wear and tear on his body that I think if he is put in that type of a role again, I think it will eventually break down for him.
I feel like if we had the
But-
chance to give it to
I
him,
Come
look,
on.
I'm just saying, I'm not against having James Harden on the team by no means. I'm just saying if I wish we had a better player in this scenario so that we could pair James Harden with someone that's I mean, of course, Jalen Brunson could take some pressure off of him. Julius Randle could take some pressure off
Could
of
be
him. And all
the
that
big
stuff.
old lefty.
if we
lefty
signed
big
James
three.
Harden, we could trade R.J. Barrett and some picks for
Then you
another
start getting
player.
strategic. Correct.
For a wing,
Yeah,
preferably a defensive minded that could score the ball. And I mean, that'd be beautiful.
But I
Yeah.
agree. I think they need to be active in free agency this year.
I agree.
Trades, whatever it is. I feel like they can't go into next season with the same starting five.
Look, I hate that you mentioned that Kristaps thing because that fit is beautiful.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, and I don't.
What tells
wanna
me
think
it's
about
possible
Kristaps.
too, not Kristaps, but what tells me the James Harden thing is possible is that he didn't take the extension he was supposed to get
Yes.
with Philly. Well, he is going to explore all options. Biggest market. That's the kind of guy he is. The fit is there. I think the coach is going to matter. I think you're going to have to fire your coach. I don't care what happens. I think you
I
have to
agree.
change your coach.
Mhm.
Like that is going to be the reason you don't succeed even further than having a guy like James
Mhm.
Harden. Plus, it's just not. I mean, that's just a horrible fit. Harden and Tibbs. I can only imagine that relationship. But anyway. That's enough. I wanted to make sure that I had looked at Spot Track. Shout out Spot Track, and I'm like, wait a minute. I thought this free agency class was supposed to be good, and like most of
Yeah.
these guys have a future, or you assume they're going to get another deal.
Hey, look,
think.
the door is open for James Harden in New York. We would love to have him. I'll say that. But
Yeah.
shout out O'Sleazy. He agrees with me. James Harden cannot be any longer a number one to win a championship, and that's just
I think
my
surrounded
personal
with the
opinion.
right pieces, I think a lot of
Yeah.
guys could do it. Yeah.
Agreed.
That I mean, okay. So there was one other trade.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
get,
Let's get
last
this
one
out of the
over with.
way because this is the final one.
Yeah.
The Clippers got Mason Plumlee for Reggie Jackson in a second round pick. I thought this was beautiful for the Clippers. They needed
job,
a backup,
Clippers.
another great backup big man.
He's having a really good
Clippers
year.
I think the Clippers did a really good job this.
They had
Yeah.
a great deadline,
Yeah.
and they didn't even give up a first.
Nope.
So wild to me. The Clippers got better, and they didn't give up a first round pick.
I mean, they don't really have any either, but
They had
Yeah.
two or three available to them, I believe. I think they had a couple swaps, and they had like one or two available to them to trade straight up.
to not jeopardize it from the Thunder having all their picks for the next decade, like, to not jeopardize it's huge.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I mean, Mason Plumlee's a great backup big man. He'll honestly play a similar role to Isaiah Hartenstein last year for them. What he did. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great trade for the Clips. But shout out Mason Plumlee, man. That's really all I feel like I have to say about that trade. So.
Yeah.
Do we have any thoughts on Mason
No.
Plumlee?
No.
We're
My
done. We're
boys
done with the
yeah,
trade
I-
deadline.
Switches shooting
Fuck.
hands when
No
he feels
more.
like it.
Trade deadline now.
That was intense.
That is it.
What a good deadline.
The
That was
Heat
really cool.
fumbled.
Yes.
And we've been live for 2 hours. We haven't said the Miami Heat. They fumbled.
I
Uh,
saved that for the end because
Would
they
they
are
get Dwayne Dedmon?
fucking bums.
Well, they got
for that.
rid-
No, they got rid of
They got
Dwayne.
rid of
Dedmon.
Dwayne. Where did he go?
San
San Antonio.
and got bought
Wow.
out.
yeah, the Heat fumbled.
Yeah, the Heat fumbled bad. Did you sent a
I mean-
report in the group chat? There's no way
No,
that's
it wasn't
true.
me. I think
Who-
someone else said.
I sent
You
that.
sent it? Okay.
Yeah.
There's
That
no
Pat
way
Riley was
that's
sleeping?
true.
He was
There's
taking a nap?
no way that is
He
true.
was literally taking a nap.
Pat Riley was not sleeping. Stop it. There's no way. I don't care how old he is.
No.
There's no fucking way that you mismanage the franchise that
If he
badly.
was, he did it on purpose, just to troll everyone.
Bro,
He was like, "Nah, we don't need to make a trade. I'm going to
Yeah,
sleep."
Trevor, I don't know if you know what we're talking about, but there was some report. I honestly think it was a Bleacher Report article, but I saw it right after the deadline, and it pretty much said that the Heat wanted to make moves, but they were waiting for approval from Pat Riley, and he was supposedly, and I quote, resting, end quote.
So by the way, the move was Kyle Lowry to the Clippers. I don't know what for, but it was Kyle Lowry to the Clippers, and I would have loved that for the Clippers personally, but yeah, yeah, falling asleep at the wheel on the trade deadline
He's
day.
fucking
Good
old.
for him.
Gotta
honestly.
love it, man.
I don't even
Gotta
know what
love
to
it.
say. So yeah, I'm gonna punt on this one. That's insane if it's true. And
That's what
I
I'm
mean, that
saying.
would have. What would they have done? You're giving up your point guard, and then you're like, okay, so then you're gonna have to sign Russell Westbrook or John Wall. Whatever. I think John Wall's perfect for them. That's,
Yeah, this is a Bleacher Report article by Mike Chiari. Mike Chiari
I don't know
is.
if you're credible, but
NBA report: Miami Heat's godfather showed his age amid trade
Jesus
talks.
Christ, man.
Hmm.
There is no way that
Well,
Pat Riley fell asleep during the
that's
NBA
unfortunate for the
trade
Heat.
deadline.
The Heat fucking suck.
They don't suck. Relax. They've come into
Relax,
their own
man.
recently. They've come
Come
into
on.
their own recently.
The
Jimmy
Heat still have a fucking
Bam
cat.
Adebayo is a
He's good.
fucking stud,
He is good.
by the way, like an absolute stud. But yeah, Sleazy said he wanted them to get Mason instead of Mike Muscala for the Celtics. I could see that, but you got a shooting big next to
I think
those
it's
two
I
guys.
think it's potato.
Yeah. So
Don't know why I said that.
You're stupid.
I feel like it's more
Um,
like potato tomato.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. All right, Trunks. Did you
All right,
have,
Trunks, you had a
you had
little,
something for us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Any
something
closing
fun?
thoughts?
In
Trev, on
conclusion,
the trade deadline?
my closing thought is what I said before. I think the teams that made moves, for the most part, they were good moves and they
Yes.
made sense. So shout out to those teams. The teams that didn't make moves, you suck. The Portland Trailblazers, you suck.
Yeah.
I'm honestly considering becoming a full-time Pistons fan. I'm really thinking about it. I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. All right. Any closing thoughts, Trev, on the trade deadline?
nah, we get it all. I'm good.
Cool. Dean, you good?
I think I hit everything I wanted to say.
Cool. All right, Trunks, you have a little
All right.
have a little thing for
So-
us today?
I have a bit of a game today. You know how we love our over-unders. So I decided to make an over-under having to do with trades. I have 10 players here. I'm going to say the names and I'm going to give you a number. You got to tell me if they've been traded over or under that many times.
Wow.
Okay,
This
this
is
is
good.
fun. This is
All
fun.
right.
Cool.
So keep track of your own scores. And
Integrity
last
system
one-
here. Got it.
the last one, I might do a little something to change what the points are worth. We'll see.
Oh my god.
We'll
You're
see.
gonna play God. All right.
I
You
might
know
play
I'm not, I know you said you had 10 of these. You know I'm not fitting 10 of these
That's
into
fine.
one TikTok.
You don't got to fit all of them.
Yeah, just fit
Chris,
Yeah, just
Chris
fit the
worried
good
about the
ones that you
content.
like.
Bro,
Just fit
I-
the ones
we're-
that you like in the TikTok.
We're at an hour
TikToks
55.
make me
Just
so
answer quickly. That's all.
Yeah. We could be
Alright.
quick.
Number 1, Ish Smith, over under 7.5 trades.
over.
Under.
Yeah, it's 100% over. I saw this yesterday.
I'm taking it
Oh,
over.
okay.
Oh,
Well,
well.
It
I was
is
taking over either way.
under
What?
at
Wait,
7.
what?
He's
Let's
been traded
fucking
7
go.
times.
Hold
Fuck
on,
you guys.
hold on. Spot track. Hold on.
Well, he's been on, like,
I need
55
a
teams.
transaction report right now because I
I
think
did my
it's
research
hold on.
last night.
Hold
I
on.
promise.
Really? Is
Yeah.
it actually 7?
7.
7
I thought it
trades.
was-
Wow.
Well, sucks to suck, guys. Doesn't it?
Okay,
Wow.
All right, number
I'll
2,
look. I'm gonna double check.
Chris Paul, over under 3.5.
I feel like we could just count this in our heads, no?
Be quick.
No, I can't be quick because I'm trying to
Under.
get this right.
This is a
He
trick
got-
question.
I'll
This
tell you.
might
I'll
be.
tell you
Okay,
now.
Don't count the
I will
Kobe and
try to
Lakers.
trick you guys a little. It's possible some of these guys have never been traded.
Under.
Okay.
Okay,
time out.
we know he's definitely been traded, but
He has
yeah.
been traded.
He
No, I
hasn't
know.
traded.
I'm just saying the rules.
We're
I
not
might try to
counting-
trick
We're not
you. a
counting
little.
the fucking fake Lakers trade that didn't end up happening, correct? Because if we
No,
are,
it
that's
has
a
to
No,
different-
no, I'm not counting that.
Okay,
It has to
so
have happened, right? I mean, yeah.
under.
Yeah,
there.
I'm not counting
Under.
under.
But it's a trick question because then it's gonna be over. But I'm taking under.
that. I'm not saying.
What
this
you
is
got,
a trick
Trev?
one.
Over under.
If I'm right, it's New Orleans to Clippers, Clippers to Houston, Houston to Thunder. That's 4, right?
That is
Houston
correct.
Thunder?
It is
Yeah, I
over.
forgot about Houston.
And then
Four.
Suns, yeah, and then
Wow, I
Suns.
forgot about Houston, bro.
The Thunder year.
I
The Thunder
forgot
year,
they
like come
traded
on.
him to the Suns.
The
Forgot about
over
the
is
Thunder.
Correct.
Wow.
Fuck.
Next player,
Frauds.
Vince Carter, over under 4.5
boy.
trades.
Over.
I'm
Over.
really disappointed in myself. I call myself a historian, and I don't even know this.
4.5 over.
Under.
I think that Atlanta deal was what made it over. That last one where he got traded to Atlanta and then stayed there for the extra year, and I think he ended up in Memphis somehow. So I think it's over.
The correct answer is under. He's only been traded
damn it.
4
Christ,
times.
man. You're
Most
killing
of
These
the
lines
time
are
he's
nuts.
signed
These lines are
places.
nuts. Oh,
God damn it.
Marcus Camby. Over under
Oh my
6.5 trades.
Bro, you got me.
Fucking Marcus Camby, dude.
Mark,
Under.
what?
You got me fucked up.
He was
I'm
a Knick
taking
for a
the
little
under.
bit, right?
I'm taking the under.
Over.
Trev, what you got?
I'm still looking at Ish Smith's profile. So Marcus Camby, I've been wrong every time saying over, so I'm gonna say over because it's probably more times than it should be. He was a really good player.
The over is correct.
Oh
It's
my
7.
God.
I
have
just went with
not
your.
one
Why would you?
correct.
Why wouldn't it have been 7? That's my problem.
I
Whatever.
have not one
Bro,
correct.
you can do this.
Not a
Wesley
single one.
Matthews, 2.5 trades.
Over.
Over.
Jesus,
Under.
Trev, Wesley Matthews. Over 2.5, under 2.5.
Under because I think it's only 2.
Surprisingly, Wesley Matthews has only been traded 1 time
Bro,
in his
Let's
career.
go. I have 3.
Under.
He's been on 75 fucking teams, too.
He signed
So
everywhere.
where was the one trade? It was Portland to wherever he went
It
after
was
that.
to New York.
New York. That's right. Yeah.
From Dallas to New York.
Oh,
In the Porzingis deal.
The
Yep.
Porzingis deal.
Damn.
All right.
Wow.
Trevor Ariza, over under 9.5.
Oh my God.
9.5.
9.5
bro?
is wild.
Holy
Under,
shit.
under. This has to be the one that I get right. This has to be. It feels like a trick question though. It's gotta be. Oh, it's gonna be over.
Under.
Chris.
What was
Chris
it?
is looking it up.
Trevor Ariza,
No.
over under 9.5.
Over.
Said under. Trev, what you got?
9.5. I'm gonna go over because that seems ridiculous, and it's got to
That's
be
what I'm
over.
saying.
It's under.
Let's go.
I'm
9.
on the
He's been-
fucking board.
He's been traded the most times in NBA history at 9.
What's the score check?
I'm on the board.
Wasn't Joe Smith traded that like
Yeah, 4.
13 times or something like that, or was it the amount of teams he played for?
Could
That's
be
the amount of teams.
Oh wow,
I have one.
You have
come on me.
What do you have?
How do you have 1?
I suck at this.
I don't know.
I have 4.
wasn't counting. Maybe
I have
2.
3.
Cool.
Wow.
All right.
You have 4.
I do.
Jesus, Dean.
Tony Parker, over under 0.5.
Over.
Over.
I think he signed with
No,
Charlotte.
I fucked up. He
Over.
signed with Charlotte.
Did
God
he?
damn it.
Over or under. Sorry, let me be clear. He did not get traded. Sorry.
He signed with Charlotte, bro. I'm a dick.
Under.
Yeah, Trevor Ariza. Wow, 9 times. Jeez.
The under is correct.
I hate
Damn,
my life.
I forgot
man.
he signed to
He
Charlotte.
signed with
I'm an idiot.
Charlotte.
Also, I have to apologize. Ish Smith was 7 times. I really was convinced it was 8. I was like, bro, I'm like, there's no way. I'm
All right, we got 3 more. Serge Ibaka, over under 3.5.
Hold up.
Over.
Over because he got traded this
Over.
year.
He's been traded the last 3 trade deadlines, honestly, or
The
close
over
to
is correct at
Yeah.
4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4. Yeah. I couldn't remember where he played after Oklahoma City was my problem. Toronto. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Never mind.
it. No, he signed with the Magic after OKC and then got traded
He
to
got traded
Toronto.
to the Magic
So there
Did
you
he? Oh, I thought he signed.
for Victor Oladipo.
And then
Oh,
he
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
traded to the Raps.
Yep.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah. Okay. All right, let's get it. Nice.
Bill Russell, over under 0.5.
This got to be a trick question,
I don't
bro.
remember. I don't
It's
know.
gotta
if
be
Bill
a
I know
Russell-
the answer. I know the answer. I'm gonna go last. I know the answer. I'm gonna go
It's
last.
got to be a trick
I don't
question,
know
bro.
Bill Russell playing for anybody else other than the fucking.
It's definitely over.
I know
I don't
the.
know why,
I know
but
the answer, and I'll go last, Chris.
It's over. It's over. It's over. I don't know why.
Under.
under.
Trev?
It's over because I think he was technically an Atlanta Hawk, and he was
Under.
traded on draft night.
Atlanta Hawks to
fucking
Boston.
go.
The over is
Wow.
correct.
Wow.
See, I told you. Maybe I don't know Trevor Ariza's amount of times traded, but I like to think that I'm an NBA historian. Sometimes it's
That's-
like, okay,
yeah.
Bill Russell was famously an Atlanta Hawk,
All right.
or a
So we're on
St.
the
Louis
last
Hawk,
one.
whatever.
What's the score check?
I have
3.
5.
I've none.
Did I get Serge Ibaka right? I can't
Maybe?
remember. I got Serge Ibaka right. Yeah, so I have 7.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna make it interesting.
So Trev won.
Jesus. Trev won already.
We're gonna make it interesting.
Fuck.
Okay.
Trev won, but we're gonna make it interesting and
I think it's 7.
see if we crown another winner.
This is so. You just sold Trevor the W.
It's all right.
We do that
He's
here.
got to get it right.
Gotta have ice in my veins. Here we
Say
go.
we're all
Yeah,
big
yeah.
Carmelo Anthony fans.
Yes.
Okay.
Carmelo Anthony, over under 3.5, and if you can name all the teams that he got traded to, you get extra points.
Should we write them down so it's fair?
Okay.
Write them
yes,
down.
Yes. Don't say it.
You get
don't
an
say it.
extra point for each
Can I-
team you name.
Can I give you some context? I'm putting pressure on myself, even though I am in the lead. He's my 3rd favorite player of all time.
Wow.
Like my top three, that's the three I loved watching as a kid. Loved modeling my game after them. If I get this wrong, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, you get a point for the over under, and then you get a point for each team you get right.
What was the line?
3.5.
Mellow.
Yes.
3.5.
I'm gonna get this right. I think. Every team got traded to.
Traded 2. You should know this one.
I do. I do. Yeah, I want to say that's it.
I don't know why.
I want to say I got all 3.
Excited.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
fuck.
yeah. Oh yeah. I got it. He played for so many teams at the end of his career here.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing one, but I think I have the answer.
Me too. I think I'm missing one as well.
I think I'm missing one, bro.
All right. Are we all ready?
Is everyone ready?
I'll start it off, I guess.
Give me the over unders first.
I'm taking
What was the line?
3.5.
3.5.
Okay.
I'm taking the under. Knicks, Thunder, Atlanta Hawks are my 3.
Chris?
Taking the over. Traded to the Knicks, traded to the Thunder, traded to the Rockets, traded to the Hawks.
Oh,
Was he traded to the Rockets?
Oh,
Was he
you know what?
bought out?
So
No.
I had the Knicks trade, Thunder trade, Hawks, and I forgot about the Rockets. So that's all the trades that I have.
Fuck.
So
So wait,
over or under?
Hawks to
So
the
Under.
before I say anything, what is the score? Because I am up.
Yeah, I didn't win.
You have
I had
two.
3. Chris
I have
had the least of 2.
5.
Dean has 5. So Dean has a shot, but
But what's the point, though? You didn't tell. He just said it's gonna be worth more, but didn't say what it
But
was.
each team is worth a point.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think I
Oh,
still win.
Trev
Hopefully.
won.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Trev
I
won.
completely forgot. About Dean. Did you say Houston?
I didn't say Houston.
Okay, all right. So then I think I still win, hopefully. So I totally forgot about Atlanta, and it's funny. I literally reached out to a jersey distributor a few years ago to get a Carmelo Hawks jersey, but he was on the Hawks for so little amount of time they did not begin distribution. So
Yeah.
shame on me for not getting that right.
I think only Carmelo asked for a jersey from the Hawks. I remember that.
I went with under by accident
Mm.
because I thought it was Denver, New York, OKC, and Atlanta's going to be the 4th, and I don't think it was Houston to a trade. Would be my guess.
So the over is correct at 4, and no
Okay.
one got all the teams.
It was the Blazers? No. The
I
Bulls.
forgot he
The
picked
Knicks,
Knicks.
the Thunder, the
Bulls.
Hawks, and the Bulls.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Wow.
I was thinking about it. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
I'm pretty sure
Crazy.
he got traded to the Hawks and then got bought out by the Hawks and went to the Rockets.
Yeah.
That was what I think.
And then he got
happened there.
traded
Ah.
from the Blazers to the Bulls, got bought out, and then
I-
signed with the Lakers eventually.
The guy obviously asking the questions, that was unbelievable, right? That's. I want you to put feet to the fire here for a second. I have one for you that I thought you were going to use.
All right.
I want to give you this one.
Let's get it.
I mean, you can all answer it, but let me make sure I got
we're
the
not
number right
allowed.
before I
It's
say
only
it.
you. It's only you.
now he
Chuck.
gets to get tortured.
Yeah. Now we just asked Trunks a million questions.
Let me make sure I have it right before I say it because I want to make sure it's not the teams and the transactions. Man, I cannot believe that one was. All right, it's not loading. Hold on. I have the guy. I just have to get his transactions pulled up on Spot Track because I don't want y'all to be mad at me if the question's wrong.
Nah, do your thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
be
good.
pissed.
Do your thing.
Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. The player is Dwight Howard.
Shit.
The line is. I'm trying to get this transactions pulled up. Jesus Christ. One. The line
You
is
said-
3.
You said Dwight, right?
Yeah, or 3.5. Excuse me. Yeah, 3.
Okay.
Dwight
Over.
Howard, 3. 3.5.
3.5.
I'm going under.
I'm going under.
Anybody want to tell me why they went? Chris was the only one that went under or over. So why?
That's
Is it 'cause it's on
just
your
what my
computer right
heart
there?
told me.
I haven't gone. I haven't gone yet. I'm gonna go with.
3.5. Dwight Howard.
Oh my god. I'm going with under.
Two of you are going to be right. It's over. It's 4. He was traded from Orlando to the Lakers in that
I
deal
forgot
that
that was
obviously
a
put that
trade.
team together, put that Steve Nash team together. And then he signed with a free agent to Houston. And then he signed a multi-year contract with Atlanta, but then was traded from Atlanta to Charlotte, and then traded from Charlotte to Brooklyn, and then was waived by Brooklyn. That was the one that did it. But it would have been 4 regardless because, or I guess 5 if I lost count here, because he was then traded to the Wizards after being bought out. Or to the Grizzlies, and then Grizzlies bought him out, and then the Lakers signed him as a free agent. So should also be in the league right now.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, I did not know he got traded as
Good
many
history
times as he
lesson.
did. I swear to God, I thought it was only like twice, honestly. But
All right,
There was a lot of buyouts and free agent moves there too. There was a lot of movement for him at the end of his career.
true.
We're spinning a wheel.
That just scared the shit out of me.
What is this for?
All right.
We're doing a jersey number draft. I'm spinning the wheel once for each
A
of us.
draft?
What?
Yeah,
We got time for that?
it's
Is
a
this the last one?
yeah. That's the last.
Yeah, this is it.
Spinning the wheel for each of us one time. The number you get, that's the jersey number. You have to build your best 3-man team with the jersey number you get.
Well, no one's 100, so that's cool.
That's good.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't.
Hopefully
All
it
right.
doesn't.
Who wants to be spun for first?
Is there a 00 on there? I'm just curious. I don't know if there's 00 on there. If it
Make
lands on
100
100, we'll just. That's what I was saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
just make it
Yep.
00.
There's no
Perfect.
regular 0 either.
I'll go
Okay.
first.
That's fine.
Let me
100
add
will be
to it.
0.
See, how do you add to this wheel?
Just don't worry about it. If it lands on 100, just go with 0. It is what it is. Just do that.
Zero's in there.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
perfect.
100 is 00. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Who am I spinning for?
Me.
For Charles?
How many players are we
Oh
doing?
my god.
3.
3.
Okay.
My boy got
47.
47.
That's not like
Holy
there's
shit.
worse numbers.
Definitely worse numbers. Who's next?
Me.
I'll go next.
Okay. Fuck you.
Oh, okay. Dean.
Dean.
Yes.
Oh, wow. 47's
Ooh.
huge. 47's huge.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
I can't name you one. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you
You
can
can
look it
look it up. Yeah, yeah. All right.
Okay.
This is for you, Sully.
All right.
Wow. Okay, so all right. 47's huge. I hope you find the same page I found, Drunks.
Yeah, I'm good.
There's only 2.
Sully with
I'm
8.
cool with 8.
Sully with
8
eight.
sounds
you
good.
won.
All right.
8 sounds good.
This is for you,
Oh,
Trevor.
man.
This spin right
Yeah,
here.
I'd love to have had 8, but it's okay. I'm about to get some dumb number, like 68 or something.
40. 40 's not
40?
worse.
Bro, come on.
All right. And for me,
40's trash.
45.
40's not trash. I
Fine.
take that back.
45's lit. So
8 wins. It's not even a contest. Don't even put it in 2K. I don't
I
care.
got my team though.
let me do this thing for the TikTok. Random jersey number draft.
Well,
Nice.
guys, guess what?
What?
There's 12 numbers that have never been worn, and 64 is one of them.
Wow.
The respin? Yeah, respin.
Okay, respin
Uh,
for Dean.
Respin for Dean.
About to take Marco Bellinelli with my first pick.
Don't worry, Dean. You got
Don't worry, dude.
you got 34.
You got a good number. 34.
That's good.
34? Are you Bro, I got sold out on this. This is horrible. I have 2 Hall of Famers, though. I can't say that, I guess. I have 2 Hall of Famers.
I
I already have my team. I'm good. I have my team. I'm chilling.
Bro, why is Anthony Davis coming up as a player who's worn number 45?
He probably did some like one random.
Wait.
reason.
What if you played? Is it okay if you played like half your career in it?
Yeah, you have at any point, right?
Yeah,
Oh, at
if
any
you
point?
wore
Yes,
the
you
jersey.
idiot.
number, yeah.
You wore the jersey, right? So if Jordan, because what was the number Jordan wore? 45.
45, yeah.
So who had 45?
Oh,
Oh, bro, come on.
wow.
You didn't think about that, did you?
I did. Dang, man. I'm
Wow.
pissed.
Why would you say that?
My fault. My fault.
No, I don't have 45.
Who has 45?
Me.
Oh, nice.
I'm ready.
All right.
whenever.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
who's going?
Who wants to say this?
I'll start since I won first. My 3-man lineup
For what
is-
jersey number?
for number 47. I have Andrea Karolinko,
Nice.
Jerry Lucas, and
Yes.
Thiago Splitter.
There you go. That's huge. That's actually really good.
For number 45, I have Donovan Mitchell, Michael Jeffrey Jordan,
Jesus
and the
Christ.
big man down low, Sean Bradley.
I love that you took Jordan second. Like what
I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna take some more. Go ahead. Dean.
Yeah, go last because you got the most
All right.
points.
I have
I've got
so many.
I've got Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
I've got Hakeem Olajuwon and
Jesus
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh my god.
That's a God squad.
That team clears. That team clears.
Holy
bit.
shit!
I got lucky not getting 64.
Yeah.
Sean Bradley
Um,
could hold those guys in check.
I'll
So
go-
Chicago splitter.
I almost took Charles Barkley, but
I'll go while 8's still thinking. So
Yeah.
I think my team can't compete with Dean's at all. I don't think any of us can.
No.
But my team might beat the hell out of you if you like shove our guy down or something. I've got him in order of Bill
Say what
Laimbeer,
jersey number you said.
47 or 40. I'm sorry, I have 40. 40 is Bill Laimbeer. I mean, ain't nobody scoring in my middle, man.
Cool.
Sean Kemp, who should be in the Hall of Fame. This is my Sean Kemp
That's
should be
a
in the Hall of
dope
Fame
one.
speech. And then it was between Sam Perkins, Michael Finley, and Harrison Barnes. Sorry, Harrison Barnes. But obviously, I'm going to go with two guys that had perennial NBA careers better than him. Michael Finley. If I'm going with the rough and tough theme, Sam Perkins is going to the bench.
Harrison
Michael
Barnes
Finley.
was supposed to be the next Kobe.
Yeah, okay.
He was coming out of high school.
Michael Finley is a better fit than Sam Perkins on this team. I can't have three bigs running around my floor.
You're
all
on the
right.
clock, buddy.
So
That's fun.
I have two for sure, and then the third one's really tough.
It's your time.
So I'm taking, of
Say your
course,
number.
Jersey
of
number?
course, my jersey number is number 8.
Of course it is.
Of
The
course.
late great Kobe Bryant, of course.
You
Obviously,
didn't say that first. I was going to leave the Zoom.
That was an easy one. That was the obvious one. That was the first one that came to mind. Second one, Dwight Howard, wore it for the Atlanta Hawks. I'm not getting Hawks version of Dwight though.
Bro,
I'm taking Orlando Magic version of Dwight Howard.
that's not fair.
What do you
I think we should get the team that they played for on it. I think that's kind of dope, actually.
That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
I mean, Chris technically gets Jordan in the middle of that year, so that's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's whatever.
I guess it don't matter.
Don't matter. You get the best version. Let's
Yeah,
just for the fun of the hypothetical, you get the best version.
Cool.
So if I'm worrying about fit, I don't want to take Trae Young, but Trae Young is the other best player here, if I'm being completely honest. So
Did you really wear 8?
I know one of them.
it says it. Yeah.
No,
it's-
that's not. That doesn't count. He wore 8 for one game because of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I'm ruling
Oh,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah,
void.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ruling
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one void.
Yeah, he
I
wore
know
that
who-
number.
what
They
was
let him
your
wear it for
number?
one game. Yeah.
A few players
There
did,
was a few
but
players
that
that
I'm
probably
ruling
did.
that one void because
I
it
mean,
was for Kobe.
technically, they let Jordan wear it for a game because of his situation with his jersey. I don't know. I just
He wore
it's the
he
same
wore
argument.
12, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. The Jordan argument's kind of the same thing, but it is what it is.
Well, 45 he wore for a
Was it
while.
multiple games? Was it
Yeah.
really? Oh.
Yeah, it was. All right. The next best guy that I could even think of here is like that I have because there's so many fucking names here.
This is a sick jersey. The Trae Young 8.
That is fire.
kinda want
honestly.
that.
The number 8 Trae Young does look dope. I'm gonna take Zach LaVine.
Wow.
Well, that's a
Wow.
terrible pick. Wow.
I don't know who else I can even
Fucked
think
up.
of here.
You should have taken Darren Williams.
I don't want
Fitting for the content. Fitting for
but-
the content.
that is
Yeah.
true. Deron Williams.
Hold on,
but
bro.
I'm taking
Hold
Zach.
on. You took Moses Malone was available, and you took Zach LaVine.
Wait, Moses Malone was here.
But too late now. But Moses Malone, dude, what?
Come on, dude.
Shit.
That's a top 20 player all time. Arguably
Oh
top
my
15.
God, I didn't even see him.
George Gerving was
Oh, come on.
Yo,
You were
there are 292 names here.
Bro,
I
Jeff
didn't see
Green,
everyone.
Jeff Green,
Latrell
Deron
Sprewell.
Williams,
I
Michael
went with. I
Beasley,
literally just looked up Jersey
Michael
Dispatch.
Beasley.
Jersey Dispatch is the best.
I have it on Basketball Reference. here,
J.R.
there's
Switch. You
2
could have had,
million
and you took
names here,
Zach
bro.
LaVine.
Jersey Dispatch has a chart that shows you like based on their career stats. It's a cumulative formula number, and they give you the best player. It's Moses, Kobe, Walt Bellamy, Dwight Howard, George Gervin. Dwight Howard does count
Bill
on there, which is
Russell?
funny.
Oh no, Bill Russell
Uh,
was 6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's.
I go
man.
Bill Russell.
I'd have taken Antoine Walker before I would have taken whoever you took.
Yeah,
We're taking Al Jefferson.
Yeah. There you
Respect
go.
Big Al.
Nah, man. I didn't see half the names here from being
Moses
completely honest.
Malone.
There were
Yeah,
291 or like
Fair.
200. Yeah,
that's fair.
there
Let
was a
me
lot.
let me do this for the TikTok. Let us know who is the best squad.
I know I got smoked.
So,
So,
before we go, we got a big game coming up.
Yeah,
on
we
Sunday.
gotta fly by this.
It's
real
time
quick.
for some Prize Pick Party Mix.
Yeah, this is
Nice.
The finale,
The finale. Yeah.
yeah, that is very
real
true.
quick. All right, free square. Patrick Mahomes, 0.5 yards more. Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce to combine for 0.5 receiving touchdowns. AJ Brown and Sky Moore to combine for 0.5 rushing and receiving touchdowns.
Amazing.
Solid.
Done.
I have the free Patrick Mahomes square over 0.5 passing yards. I got Kenneth Gainwell more than 19.5 rushing yards, and Isaiah Pacheco more than 48.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, so I have the Patrick Mahomes free square as well. I have 48.5 rushing yards over for Isaiah Pacheco as well. And then I have over 60.5 receiving yards for Devontae Smith.
I have the Pat Mahomes square. I have Isaiah Pacheco and Miles Sanders combining for over 108.5 rushing yards, and then I have Jake Elliott hitting more than 1.5 field goals.
Nice. Run it back the
So-
other way with the other thing. What's up?
No, you're good. Keep it. I'll just give you all my 3 Super Bowl. I bet too on the side. I don't do it. For
Oh,
the
fire.
podcast.
Yeah.
I'll just give you
Yeah.
the 3 bets I'm putting in this weekend before
Let's hear
before
it.
Sunday. Oh yeah, finish what you were doing with Dean had to go. I think right.
We move on to basketball after this.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
say yours. Say yours.
Super Bowl. I'm gonna go with Eagles. I do a lot of props. I don't do anything with Prize Picks, unfortunately.
Got it.
Shout out Prize Picks though. But
Sponsored.
I am going Eagles last touchdown. Eagles defense. So Eagles defense last touchdown. I think if there's been a lot of those stupid situation plays where balls being fumbled, whatever. I think that they might score the last. And just in terms of value, if I put $5 on that, I'm winning like 3. I think I'm running like 300 or 800, something stupid like that. So Eagles last touchdown. I have Jalen Hurts over rushing yards, and what was the other one I had? Oh my gosh, I already forgot. There was one more. Crap. Oh, it's Gatorade. Gatorade is my favorite bet every year. I have not won in 11 years. Gatorade's going to be orange because they're going to troll the Bengals.
Yeah, that's
troll the
what I'm
Bengals.
talking about.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
I like it.
We said that. Nice.
All
All
right.
right. So this is ball game bets, and I got James Harden to put up 15 points, Jalen Brunson to hit two or more threes, LaMelo Ball to score 20 or more points, Dylan Brooks to make 1 3, and that comes out to plus 253.
I have Jalen Brunson and Pascal Siakam to score more than 20. I have the Minnesota Timberwolves alternate spread plus 15.5 against the Memphis Grizzlies. I have the Sacramento Kings alternate spread plus 1.5 against the Dallas Mavericks. It all comes out to plus 265.
I have James Harden to score 20 plus against the Knicks. I got Pascal Siakam to record 4 plus rebounds against the Jazz. Bam Adebayo to record 8 plus rebounds against the Rockets, and Paul George to score 20 plus against the Bucks to come out to 254.
Joel Embiid to score 25 plus. James Harden 8 plus assists. Philadelphia 76ers minus 5.5. Dallas Mavericks money line.
Amazing.
Boo.
All right.
There it is.
Well, that was really fun.
That was a great pod.
Thanks, Trevor, coming
had
on.
A lot of fun.
Appreciate
Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, thank you to our guest, Trevor, the host of the 2 Pointers podcast. We really do appreciate you coming on. It was a great time. You're incredibly knowledgeable about the sport too, so we really do appreciate.
We'll link you in the
everything from you.
description.
Definitely going to put your link in the description. But if you have any closing thoughts, anything you want to say before we go?
Shout out
Um,
Deadpool.
Yes.
Deadpool was active. I tried to keep up with him as best I could, but it was tough. It's funny being on the other side of this talking to him. But thank you. First of all, I think what you guys are doing is really, really good. I like the in-person aspect of it. I think it's a really awesome angle that I think more people need to explore and really create that authentic debate. You guys keep crushing it. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
2 Pointers on every social media, like I said earlier. Got a lot of really great things coming here in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing a watch party on playback.tv. The NBA All-Star dunk contest and 3-point contest. If you guys want to come hang out,
Yeah.
that link's going to go out in the next couple of days. So I'm going to be doing a little watch party for that. Otherwise, man, just I got a lot going on soon. The NCAA tournament's obviously around the corner very, very quickly. But I'm also getting married that week. So it's going to be
Congrats,
really,
bro.
big fun. Thank you. It's going to be big fun.
Everyone go wish this man
Thank you.
congratulations.
Lot
on
of
his wedding.
lot of content grinding, a lot of schedule posting. And so yeah, all the support we appreciate it. Thanks for having me again.
Of course. Thank you. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all of our socials. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. And with that,
Ball game.